Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Blood Lament. I am your game master, Esper, and I'm happy to be continuing this dark and strange tale with these four brave adventurers here who are just chock full of true grit and perhaps a little bit of candor. So why don't you all introduce yourselves, who you are, what you are, anything you want to tell us, really. And we'll get right back into the adventure. We'll go AJ first. You're muted.
There's always one. Hello, today I'm playing Mulga of House Tarab-Ir, and I am a warlock. A good warlock. A nice warlock. A little bit of toffee-nosed, privileged warlock. And an attractive individual. But currently with his nose out of joint because his family has fallen into disrepute. His temple is a den of sin, and now there's a bunch of interlopers in disrupting everything. My name, when I'm not Mulga, is AJ Pickett. I run a YouTube channel that specialises in detailed lore videos, and you can find me there with a big stockpile of videos for you to binge watch to your heart's content.
Great videos, actually. I've been listening to a bunch of them recently while drawing maps.
Thank you.
The Aboleth one I quite enjoyed, and the Grell. Oh, I've always liked Grells. Jared, how about you?
G'day, I'm Jared. I'll be playing Atticus, the human Paragon sovereign, who has an Ichoriite companion who is a sentinel, and he is a son of a centurion, as you could say. He's looking to earn his honor and privilege in his family title, and he's hoping to do so by serving the Golden Palace. And let's see if he's able to find that honor here somewhere in a foreign land.
Hello, everybody. I'm JB, better known as Drop the Die Everywhere. Today, I will be playing Cynus. Cynus is an Ichoriite fighter, and we're playing with the new subclass in Esper's new book, where I'm playing a Gladiator and a knife specialist. And I have been absolutely loving all of the insane damage that I can do with daggers. Cynus is created for one purpose: battle, blood, and glory. And for some reason, all of these people gravitated towards him. So let's see where that goes.
Last but not least, Dimos.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dimos, and I will be playing Grazam Vlaxma. He's a dwarf, swamp dwarf from Esper's new book. He's a Majesty Cleric, which is a subclass from Esper's book. And he tries to find the next step to touch the divine. And he has found this when he met those majestic fighters. So he thinks that they are sent from his god, Eucynikur. So he's trying to find his way to the divine and the glorious.
A band of very interesting and stylish characters here, and you have recently lost a companion, though Mulga has reasons and interests to now be joining forces with you. Well, you have done explorations in the undercroft of the palace of House Tarab-Ir, and Atticus, you did find your longtime friend Miraman. Alas, you found him dead, slain in the crypt of House Tarab-Ir after fighting a horrid monstrosity known as the Paragon. You did quite a bit of investigation last session, and you were putting together bits and clues and hints. You've also been speaking with a priest named Yakal, who has been accompanying you in the crypt here. He was with Mulga. So there's some different parts happening, But as best things are looking, as best you can tell, some 20 years ago, the previous high priest of House Tarabir put a curse upon the twin princes Obar and Obaya. He invoked a dark and awful retribution against them for their sins. And this curse transformed them together into this one two-headed monster that you all have slain. And you would almost think, okay, well, that's it. This is lifting the curse that is upon House Tarabir, and the house is going to regain its former glory. But wait. No, there was something more that Yakal remembered. There was a strange figure who referred to himself as Snakebiter. He showed up some 4 years ago or so, 3-4 years ago, after High Priest Eridoka died. And he said that Eridoka had actually sired children in secret. Well, that's a rather controversial topic. The High Priest, he's one of the Hierophants. He has dedicated his life to the service, the spiritual service and his religious path. It is strictly forbidden that he ever marry or sire any children. And this Snakebiter was essentially chased out of Tarabir Palace. And you all found this mace, this hidden mace within the crypt shrine. And there was intricate abstract patterns in the mace head. And someone had the bright idea of applying some ink to it and rolling it out, and it rolled out an imprint of a map to some location, this mountain out in the Badlands, maybe 3 days to the northwest from Tarabir Palace. Well, what is this? A secret location that Eridoka... What did he do? Did he construct it? Did he hold private rights there? What is this? Is the curse still upon House Tarabir? Well, perhaps. And you all are bound and determined to follow this map and to see what this leads to. So we basically left off with you kind of wrapping up your conversation with Yakal, the priest, and Mulga, who is also a magic user of some variety of House Tarabir. So I wanted to give you all a chance, if you had any final comments or questions to this priest Yakal before you set off on your trek.
I got nothing.
You all feel heartily prepared and confident. Is that what I'm gathering?
I will approach Yakal and ask, can you tell us more about what is out in this steppe land, this desert region? Is there something out there that we should perhaps be looking out for? This map looks like it leads to a cave or a grotto of some sort.
The map clearly leads through the hums of Logam. So it actually doesn't go into the steppe. It actually goes northwest into... I have a image here. Oh my. Let me get out of this. Okay. It is... Here we go. Oh, are you all can't see that. You guys, the actual people that are playing the actual characters that need to see it. I will share an image that I do have somewhere. It is here. It is... No, that is not it. So at some point in time, I shared a map with everyone on Discord, and I've just succeeded in resharing it with you all. Thank you so much. Okay. So if you look down to the lower left of the map here, you'll see Tarabir Palace, where you are currently situated, the home of Mulga. You started in Doreo, which is kind of in the upper right. That's the home of Atticus and Cynus. You traveled from Doreo to the Golden Palace, which is kind of in the center of this of the Delta region. Then you travel down to Tarabir Palace. Okay, so this western part, the Hums of Logam, is a rocky badlands. Lots of craggy hills and low mountains and ridges and kind of a semi-arid ground. This region, once you stray off of the road, is very rough going. You would do well to stick close to the map. There's no telling what the gorges or precarious cliffs you might run across, or wild beasts, marauders perhaps.
Well, it wouldn't be worth going there if it wasn't dangerous.
By the looks of the map, it's going to be about 3 days traveling. It's not a really extreme far distance, but it is very, very rough terrain that you're going through. So you're planning that's going to be about a 3-day trek going through these badlands.
Are there any sort of supply wagons or caravans and stuff going to Menayim?
Manjam. From the Golden Palace, there are supply lines. Many common commodities come out of the Golden Palace: textiles, wine, salts, foods, oils, meats, fish. Manjam is oversees mine operations. The ore and ingots have reduced down to a mere trickle these past years since the end of the war. I would not expect many coming out of Manjam.
I mean, from going from here to there, so that we don't have to trek the entire way on the back of a beast.
Naturally, there will be some coming from Tarabir Palace to Manjam. It will not be a great deal, though.
Go find one for me.
If you say, Honorable Mulga.
Just did.
Well, if that will be all, I will see what I can arrange at this hour.
I turn from him like he doesn't exist.
Mulga's been a bit put off by these revelations and foul discoveries lurking in the underbelly of his own noble house.
It's like
Yakal,
you go down to the basement and the tenants have been up to no good.
Yakal, gives a little nod, gives a pat to Atticus. May your friend find a glorious welcome in the afterlife. We will see that he receives a proper funerary rite when the time is right, when the time is appropriate.
I guess that will ease my worries. Didn't want to drag him into a desert.
And your queen, Aket, she will want to know of Miraman's fate. Tell her that he perished after being attacked by escaped beasts in the menagerie. This is not a lie. Tell her that he lie in our crypt for a time, and we kept him a secret, fearing that if word spread, it could reignite the flames of war. Tell her the past will be buried. We will never speak of this again. Tarabir will prosper once more.
We'll see. It depends on what we find out in the desert, but I'll try to put in a good word for you. I also don't want there to be an unnecessary war fought between us. I wish things to go back to the way they were when things were in abundance.
Yes. We all do, very much so. I will see what I can arrange. The hour is most late, but soon we will speak again. We will meet back here. I will see you just beyond the door.
Perhaps somewhere else. We can't stay here in Tarabir for very long. We have caused problems elsewhere, as you can remember with the guards.
Oh, Well, you can stay here in the crypt or in the entrance, the antechamber. Best not wander back into the menagerie, though. There's no telling what else is slithering or lurking about.
Well, I guess it's not the best place to stay, but if it's safe and it won't draw the attention of those guards again, then...
Well, it is off limits at the moment. I wouldn't expect that anyone would be coming down here, save for one such as myself, or perhaps one of the other priests. But I shall not dither. I will return. And Yakal essentially says, wait here in the crypt or the antechamber. He's going to go see what he can locate at this late hour. And in terms of a passage, going north up the roadway there, and then you'll have to cut westward through the Badlands, through the hills. And he seems optimistic that things are going to make a turn for the better. He also seems a bit desperate. So we'll see if his optimism is misplaced or not. While you are waiting, is there anything in particular that you all do? Further investigating, looking, searching?
I'm familiar where to grab some supplies for the journey in this place.
Mm-hmm.
Like food.
I'm just going to show the map here while Yakal is seeing about travel supplies and passage and such. Did anyone want to do any additional searching? It's optional. You don't have to.
Sorry. Please.
I think we've thoroughly explored the crypts. And
you've definitely explored through here. You didn't explore much into this chamber that has a bunch of these catacombs and freestanding sarcophagi.
Mainly because Mulga's like glaring daggers at you every time you come anywhere near his ancestors. Just like, don't touch. Show some respect.
I think it is important to note that Cynus is quite literally from the top of his head to his bronze sandals coated in blood and ichor. So, knowing that Atticus saw a pool back somewhere else in this labyrinth, Cynus will... He's not going to tell anybody, but he looks down and everyone sees that he looks at himself and he scrapes some of the blood off with the blade of a knife, realizes how thick and nastily coated he is, and then begins walking back to that pool that we saw before.
I would want to go to Atticus and crossing my hands. I'm telling him, I don't like it. No, I don't like it at all.
What's disturbing you?
Well, we can't just pretend that this never happened. We can't. Glory never shines through the shadows of lies. People must know the truth.
It is true, but we made a promise. We made a promise to and I like to keep it away from Mulga's ears. We made a promise to the Golden Queen. We have to keep it.
Yes.
We have to wait for her judgment. Wait for her to figure out how to best proceed with this. If we step recklessly, we could cause more damage than what's already happening.
Yes, but this is beyond any of us. This people must know that the top of the hierarchies is so messed up. How can a structure like that hold and prosper?
Perhaps there's a good reason to why things happen that we haven't yet uncovered. Maybe there'll be something in that cave, that grotto. We haven't found the consort of this Hierophant or his child. So perhaps that will be revealed to us soon.
I don't like it at all. And I start walking towards the 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 tombs, and I'm contemplating whether the death of our companion is a sign from Eucynical to just let this go, or if if death is just a stepping stone for the living to ascend to something greater. And without touching anything, I'm just looking around for anything that my eye catches, anything.
Mulga's going to be heading after the Ichoriite, who seems to be marching off in a determined direction. I think I've got enough insight to fathom what he's up to. So I catch up with him, and an orb appears and juggles its way down my arm and onto his shoulder and slowly circles his body as I said, do not be alarmed. And it cleans as it goes with the prestidigitation of cleanliness, stripping away the filth, and the orb flicks back up my arm and back into my backpack.
Cynus nods, and he says, "Arcane tricks. They are most useful. I appreciate this." And then he holds out his hand that still has its fingers and thumb gripped around the lower jaw of the prince's head. It says, "This as well." Yeah. And when the blood and gore is cleaned off of that, he says, "Good. Easier to travel this way."
Less flies.
You are carrying the head of one of the twin princes?
Yes.
Yes?
I
Okay.
do not remember which one, but the priest would not take it from me.
Yeah, he was not very fond of getting close to you. Now that you have been cleaned by this magus here, do you cease in your march towards the pool?
Yeah, Cynus stops and looks at this new-found companion up and down and says, "Do you fear your family's secrets?"
It's a complicated question, my friend. Every family has secrets, I think. We deliberately don't dig too deeply, do we?
"This I would not know,
No, of
but
course.
I do know. The dead can keep no secrets. They should not be allowed such, because it only ever affects the living. The dead are gone. If you think secrets lie here, you should find them."
Oh, I will. I'll get to the bottom of this eventually. And hopefully not too many more heads will roll.
"We can only hope," he says with this kind of smile to his eyes behind the basket of his helm.
But I feel the heat of the here and now, and the Celestial's eyes are upon us. So let's not go too far into the future and concentrate on this road that we have ahead.
"Is true. You are wise for one so small. I appreciate this."
I think that's the first time anybody's ever called me wise.
"Though it may not be wise to take your eyes so willingly from my companions, they are quite curious."
Yeah. Good point.
Speaking of which, Grazam, you are looking here and there, just looking. You said you're not touching anything. You do pass by an inscription. An inscription that is, what would we say, legible to you. This sarcophagus that you're next to here. You just, the inscription happens to catch your eye. The lid bears the inscription Castrus arateel, honored priestess. It seems to be a really well-made inscription, better than some of the others nearby. That Mulga fellow, he's not exactly right nearby. How curious are you?
Do I see him anywhere?
Last you saw, he went, hustling to go catch up with Cynus, who was tromping back the other direction.
Okay. I send my divine crocodile that way.
Oh, yes, you still have your celestial servant. And it can be invisible. It can turn itself, it can vanish at will.
You're sending an invisible crocodile my way?
Your way, but wait. I want to tell him that if he sees Mulga approaching, I want him to hit his tail on the wall so I can hear it and know that he's coming and just pretend that.
All right. So the crocodile vanishes and goes slithering off that way, scampering that way, and you tell him, to warn you if Mulga starts coming back.
Gonna scare the piss out of my character.
Okay, so can I lift the?
You lift the lid. Yep. Yeah, it's a stone lid, kind of a stone sarcophagus. That's what it means, a stone, right? And you hoist it up a bit. You see inside there is a, I'm not going to call it a mummy because that gives the wrong impression, but it's still a like dried out, desiccated corpse, mostly skeletal. And due to the magic that is imbued into these sarcophagi, the smell is just that of incense, spices and salts. It's not even a strong smell at all. It's very dry on the inside. And this husk of a corpse is wearing a white robe, a priestess's robe, and has a holy symbol of the local religion around her neck. I guess we should say its neck, just skeleton now.
First of all, I smell myself. I still prefer myself. Okay, so are her clothes the same or similar as the other ones that we've seen so far?
Probably a little simpler, because the other tomb that you opened up was a high priest's tomb. So he had a full headdress and more exquisite garb.
It's all about the elaborate hats, man.
Very much so. If you would like, you can just see if you can find anything else of note in here. You can make an investigation check.
Yes, I was going to say I want to get my hands inside and see if I can find anything in particular that I would. Yeah.
Okay, you discreetly search. Go ahead and make your roll.
I cast guidance of myself if I can.
Yeah, sure. You utter a short prayer and then search.
And investigation. I have +2 from guidance. 7 + 2, 9.
9. So you start searching around, and then you hear something about Mulga saying, "Hopefully, no more heads will roll." And Cynus is like, "Well, we can only hope so." And then you start hearing this thump, 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 thump of the crocodile's tail, and you do everything you can not to smash your fingers in the lid, and you let go of it. So I don't know. Was there something important in there? You're not sure.
I put it back and then.
And then you can see Mulga and Cynus approaching, and maybe you've taken a little step to the side to look.
But your cloak is trapped underneath the sarcophagus lid.
a strand of moss or part of his beard, maybe.
I want to ask, Mulga,
Oh,
may I
Mulga's not
ask?
approaching. Mulga stopped in
Oh.
the hallway because something went slap in front of him, and he can't see what it is.
Okay. I'm just walking around like nothing happened.
Well, Mulga, what was that? That couldn't have been a rat. That no rat makes a sound like that. But whatever it is, it's gone. And Grazam he's just casually strolling and seems to be looking and admiring the beautiful crypt of House Tarbeer. We've neglected a bit Atticus and Remus. During this time, what have you two been doing?
Atticus is still crestfallen after finding his dead friend. So he's actually just like a bit despondent, just looking around the tomb, looking at all the tombs, and he's just feeling like he's failed. And he's not too sure, he's hoping that in the future when they find this secret tomb or whatever it is, that they will have answers and he'll find something that will rise him up to fame in the eyes of the golden princess. But at the same time he feels like, but why am I pursuing fame now? Because Miramon is dead.
You have some big questions. Why? What is the meaning of all this? Why didn't I do something else? What am I supposed to do now? It kind of throws big existential elements of your life into doubt and question and turmoil. Does Remus have a attitude towards that? Is he just stoic and is like, be strong, you'll find a way? Or does he comfort, or what is he?
He's very stoic and simply says, Atticus, you cannot change the past. You can only change the future, and your future lies in that tomb. Atticus replies with, I don't know if I want this future anymore. I thought things would be more glorious, more fantastic, full of adventure, but this place is just dark and full of death. It isn't what I wanted at all.
I love the unyielding truths of these Ichoriites. Their demeanor is as rocky as their. There's no prevarication or doubt about what they say. It's just direct.
Any final questions, investigations, searches? The priest is set to return. Yakal reappears. Oh, yeah, go for it.
I want to ask Mulga about Castrus arateel. Is that right?
Yes. Castrus arateel, or I guess we could say Castris arateel.
Castris arateel. Yep. Mulga, my eye just caught something. What do you know about one Castris arateel? Who was she, or he, or it? I have no idea.
Mulga's like, what?
What?
Sorry, I was distracted by a noise.
Mulga, you know who Castrus arateel was. She was a priestess of House Tarbeer many years ago. And she had a son, Amun, who he was set to become an acolyte. Well, as it happened, one day Amun was sparring with some other boys, including the princes, Obar and Obaya, the twin princes.
He's pantomiming your explanation.
saw that. It cracked me up. But it's not a funny topic at all. There was a fight that day out in the courtyard. There was a bad argument, and the princes ganged up on Amun, and they killed him. And then his mother, this priestess, Castrus, she confronted the twin princes and was about to use this gaze power or gaze spell or some kind of divine invocation of wrath upon them, and they seized her and gouged out her eyes, and she died from the wounds. So there, she's buried right here. So you all are looking at now, from what you know now, this is like a relic. This is like the origin of that Obaradin monster. You know, it's the beginning of that dark turn.
Mulga finishes with his hand on the top of the crypt, the sarcophagus, and shakes his head and says, "It was a clear indication that something was seriously wrong with those princes, and I suppose something should have been done about it, but what can you do with princes, you know?"
Well, you can call down a horrific curse and turn them into a monstrosity, and then try to lock them away beneath the menagerie of the Undercroft.
Well, there's that option.
Yeah. So, yeah, in your mind, Grazam, you're not sure if there was some other clue inside the sarcophagus. You didn't really get a good enough look. How much do you care about that? Do you think it's worth like pushing the topic, trying to convince your allies here? You know, we should see if there's any evidence in there of anything.
After hearing that story, and I don't know, it seems relevant. I want to say to Mulga, we could find something that could lead us to understand what happened with the abomination, the monstrosity that we fought. Do you think that looking into that woman's corpse is something that you could bear with? If not, you can just go for a walk and...
Well, the thing is, prior to his death, I would have said that opening the sarcophagus is not a good idea because the restless dead are not something that I trust. But I think now she could finally be at peace, so maybe.
You can think about like that. I mean, maybe through her death, she can still help us to unravel this veil of mystery.
I'm on board. Okay, you grab one end, I'll grab the other.
Oh, by the way, the noise that you heard was my celestial servant. Yeah, he's very fond of you, so don't worry.
I'm going to do that thing where you drop your end a little bit early, possibly catch your finger.
Okay.
I'm an okay man, I'm not a good man.
All right, so Mulga now sees the potential benefit in finding additional clues, and he seems to at least be convinced that you're not just trying to grave rob his noble house. So the two of you lift off the sarcophagus lid that had this nice inscription on the front bearing the name of Castrus arateel, honored priestess. And again, you see inside this dried out, husk, skeleton-like corpse. It's wearing a white priestess's robe, has a holy symbol of the Matristrianism religion of the Tarbir Palace. And Mulga, if you would like, make an investigation check.
Sure. In truth, it's a little cathartic to finally be able to tell that story, because it's been a dark secret of my family for such a long time now. Telling it lessens somewhat the pain. And looking at her now, she's just at peace.
Guidance.
I'm gonna roll a physical dice here.
Do you have an actual prayer that Grimox says?
Yes,
even
I
if it's
want
in your own tongue.
in my own tongue, in Greek.
Yeah, the swamp dwarf tongue. But you could speak it in Greek, and we wouldn't know. So it sounds like dwarvish to us.
That's a 19 on the investigation, by the way.
With guidance?
What's guidance? Plus 1d4?
Indeed.
Yes. Yes, I want to pray and say that may those first steps of atonement be enough to bring the truth forward so that those two nations will bloom again and rise to their former glory.
So
The prayer resounds with you and literally guides your eyes, your hand, your mind, and you uncover a tiny roll of parchment from within the sarcophagus that had been tucked away in there. And it reads, "You blessed our house with your works, and we were most fortunate to have you with us. I shall forever regret what the twins did to you and your son. Justice was done to them, which I hope brings peaceful rest to you both. I pray for you often." And it is signed with initials CT.
How recent is the parchment?
Look for yourself.
Well,
As in
you
Mr.
know,
Ness at the corner
according
of
to
Mulga's
what you've heard, she got killed like some 20 years ago. The parchment doesn't look like it's, well, I mean, what does 20 years of age look like? It's a little dusty, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah. Clearly not fresh and clearly not ancient.
Okay. Okay, that's what I wanted to know, if it's fresh or not. Okay.
That phrase is perfect. It's clearly not fresh. It's clearly not ancient.
Yes. Nice spectrum, I guess. Anything else before the priest returns? Yakal reappears. I have and he sees like Cynus there, and he staggers back a step. I have done all that I can to seek out a wagon or a carriage of some sort. The best I can find is that tomorrow I can get you passage on a mule train. So he was able to rouse someone. They're going to be driving mules up towards Manjam tomorrow. If you can wait that out, or otherwise, your choice.
We can wait. I mean, it'll shave that much time off the journey. Am I right?
Whatever secret's left in that cave can wait a day longer, I guess.
You all
There's no
mentioned
point
that
rushing
there
to your
is
fate.
perhaps some concern with the palace guards. You might have had to have temporarily waylay a few of them using roguish means.
They were bludgeoned and tied in sacks.
What?
I believe they were potato sacks or wheat sacks. I can't quite remember.
You did
I
not.
think the
You
guards
did not
could be
kill these
forgiven
men, did
in-
you?
I think the guards could be forgiven in failing in their duties considering the opposition they faced.
Oh no, they weren't dead. They were just napping.
Good.
You all
They have families.
might need to be spending some additional time down here in the crypt. I don't know. I will see what I can do to dissuade them from pursuing this direction. I mean, if they find you out. He seems mightily concerned, but he's going to try to diplomatically intervene and try to keep them from sniffing around the crypt area while you all hide out until tomorrow day.
For our point and purposes, is there a fundamental difference between us staying in this dank, disgusting, putrefied crypt full of corpses, or outside
actually,
the city
crypt
walls?
is dry and smells nicely of spice and incense. It's actually
outside
a very
the
nice
city
crypt.
walls, where we can just sleep in the open and meet up with the caravan as they head westward or northwestward. That way we don't have to go through the guards in the morning. We can go now and just camp out there. Is there a fundamental difference that I'm not aware of as just a player not familiar with this place?
Party, what do you all think?
I don't know, Mulga,
I'm in
do you
favour
like roughing it out in the wilderness?
Most certainly not. We have a perfectly good accommodation upstairs.
Mulga is not party to what happened. The rest of you may pass as peasants if you wish. I cannot, nor can Remus. I will make my way beyond the wall tonight.
Enough rags. Bit of dirt.
Do not die. Not yet. And I think Cynus is going to abscond from this tomb and go be a statue until tomorrow. He doesn't need to eat or sleep or drink. He can just stand out there as a statue beyond the wall.
Find a convenient empty plinth and just...
All right. Some shepherd passing by thinks it's a shrine to the god of blood and goes and starts like showering coins and tributes at your feet. Okay. So Cynus is going to depart the premise, secret himself out of the Tarbier Palace grounds and await the mule train on the following day and then join with you all. Yes? Is that what I'm to understand?
That is precisely.
All right.
I will also try, maybe Mulga would have an extra piece of cloth, but I will try to find something, including piece of a tarp, if I need to cut it free myself, to hide the head in, so that it does not raise any questions.
Look, it's one of those statues with the severed head on it.
Given I do not have a bag, I do not have any adventuring gear, I only have knives, a belt, myself, and a lady's favor that is stuffed inside the belt. That's all I possess on my person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
this head needs something to wrap around itself.
Okay. I think we can... Yeah, I think we can accommodate that. You have a sack with a large gourd in it, apparently. It's been prestidigitated to not be dripping with blood, so that works to your advantage. Cynus, I'd like you to make a stealth check.
Rolling good. Thank Christ, because I don't have any good stealth. 19. 18 plus 1.
19 is sufficient. Under cover of darkness and using what cunning you have, you, in my mind, you actually scale the walls of Tarbier Palace.
I was going to say,
leap
I have
over,
a pretty great
just
acrobatics.
to the other side and just tromp out into the hills. And then the rest of you bide your time and get some rest here down in the crypt.
Be in the antechamber. I don't like the idea of staying in the crypt.
Sure. Well, I should remind everyone, it's not like a crypt. It's
Very
not like
nice
that
crypt.
ghoulish thing. It's actually a
Yeah.
beautiful royal crypt that's very well
I mean,
maintained.
as in, Atticus does not want to stay where Miramon was found.
Yeah, understandable. Okay. All right.
Plus the
So
floors are like stone, and it's not very comfortable.
that is true. I think I'm okay with us cutting to the next scene. I think there's not anything that's important enough that we need to get down to the nitty gritty on staying the night here. Yakal is going to be aiding you all in, trying to keep the guards off of your tail, and he has spoken with the wagon driver saying that tomorrow you're going to have some honored guests joining with you, and they're going to be riding with you for a time. And if you have problems with that, then you're going to have problems with Mulga and his new companions. What could probably give you a strong talking to.
Breaking my fast on dried nuts and apricots. Nice glass of watered wine. Wiping my nice clean shaven face as we got some travelling pants on. Haven't worn them in a while.
Was that essentially a long rest or a short rest that we had?
You all have completed a
think it
long
was-
rest.
That was a classic long rest.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, you have a homebrew rule about the long rest. How exactly does it work?
There is no automatic restoration of your full max hit points. So you'll need to use hit dice and spells if you have them, class features, etc. I'm not a fan of the free hit point refill.
Is that the same as the Dungeon Master's Guide rule for roll hit dice at the end of a long rest, as opposed to
It's
same rule?
Really, there's no change to anything except for you just don't get the full replenish of your hit points. But everything else
Yeah,
just
that's-
still functions the same.
That's
So you can spend hit dice as you want, and then you'll recover half. So you'll get 2 back. It's half your hit dice.
To avoid working out the mathematics of hit points and stuff with long rests, I mean, who's got time for it? Just make sure that your character dies in combat.
That is one way to go about it. Yeah. So we are going to cut to an altogether different scene. I think we've been quite successful with that one. The following day, we are in the hums of Logam. It is a bright, warm day. Windy. The ground is rocky, and sections of it are dry and cracked. Other sections do have some grass and some scrub brush. Here and there, a gust of wind will kick up a little bit of dust at you. The terrain is fairly rugged, and the farther that you travel, the more rugged it gets. The landscape is craggy hills and rising up into low mountains. You see some hawks circle overhead. Here and there, some horse flies buzz by. A lizard bakes out on a rock, sunbathes on a rock. You're all crammed onto this wagon. It's a little bit too small for all of you, and there's some. You're just basically sitting on sacks, right? You're sitting on sacks of grain and rope and such. And there's this train of mules, and there's a wagon driver, and his son is up front, making sure the mules are following along the roadway, guiding at the lead. And he makes a bit of chatter and a bit of small talk with you all. Cynus, by the way, he joined. He he slept out in the wilds. I guess I could have rolled for a random encounter, but we'll say whatever crept up on him was either didn't perceive him as a living being, thought it was a statue, or if it did perceive him as a living being, was terrified of him and scampered away as to not be slaughtered.
For those of you at home, the Ichoriite actually have false appearance, which means while I hold perfectly still, I look indistinguishable from a statue.
You have spoken truthfully.
The amount of times you must wake up with dog pee on your leg. Very annoying.
That's why that one shin is highly oxidized. That patch of patina is strictly from urine of alley cats and other critters releasing their musks to mark their territories.
Where'd all these dead cats come from?
You all
Your fur coat grows day by day.
You all travel for the day. You camp by night. They lash up the mules and make a campfire, and they take breaks to water and feed the mule on the patches of grass and scrubby brush. And then into the second day, you all hop off of this mule train wagon and you head westward off of that road, going out into the hums of Logam, truly into the thick of it. You've got this map that you rolled out from the head of the Mace of Aradoka, and the map is pretty clear. It's really a map that's just specific of this, we just consider it like a sub-region. It doesn't really have anything beyond showing the Tarbeer Palace and then out to this mountain. It's about 30 miles northwest of the Tarbeer Palace. The icon of the mountain on this map that you've printed it's actually enlarged and stylized, and it seems very specific. Like the shape of this mountain is like they must have had someone draw the actual outline of this mountain with a degree of faithfulness to the true mountain. And at a certain jut of the mountain face, close to the base of the mountain, there's this like burst icon. So, that's the X on your treasure map. It seems quite clear that you do have to travel. You're going to be traversing for about a good day, probably, the rest of this day, camp at night, and then hopefully coming upon the mountain early on the following day. I'd like someone to be a guide here. Who would be a guide that would make a survival check? Mulga? Okay. It's going to be an easy check because you've got this nice map. You just basically trying to make sure you don't take any weird turns, come upon any natural hazards, which there are some out here. So go ahead and make a wisdom survival check, Mulga. And your companions will be, following wherever you take them.
May I help him casting enhance ability?
Grazam, would you like to cast Owl's Wisdom upon Mulga?
Yes.
Okay.
So that he has advantage on wisdom checks.
What is the duration of this spell?
This is the duration is 1 hour.
It's 1 hour duration? Okay. I think that would be good. Mulga, make your survival check with advantage.
It feels like I slip into a reverie and I remember my childhood in these desert conditions, and it's similar to some of the places that I travelled when I was younger, particularly looking for evidence of past tombs and things, because religion's always been a fascination of mine. It's part of where I gained these unusual powers through contacting a celestial patron. So I feel I'm particularly in tune with the desert today, and I get a 16 on my survival check.
A 16? Okay. A 16 is a pretty good check. You've never been at this specific little corner of the hums of Logam. I mean, this is a big region. We're talking about, many, many dozens of miles in any direction. But like you said, you've been out in general terms in this region a number of times, and there are even some special locations. You know, there's a beautiful hill not far outside the palace where we can get a wonderful view of the sunset. There's a little, you know, shrine, like a little open air shrine atop another mountain. There's a little pilgrim's path, and then there's a site that you made some reference to where you had a personal encounter where you became more than merely a scholar or, you know, noble acolyte. You gained abilities, higher powers.
Real power.
So even though you haven't actually tread along these specific hills and mountains, now you have a general familiarity of the terrain. And you've been imbued with the wisdom of an owl by the cleric Grazam. There's only one moment where you feel a bit of concern, and your survival is able to avail you of such dread. There are indications atop this ridge that you are trekking up at one moment of droppings of bat creatures. And I don't mean like little flappy things. I mean bats whose wingspans are greater than the length of two men, you know, giant monstrous things that layer in grand underground grand caverns under these hills. And you know, this gives you pause, and you notice this, and you tell your companions, no, actually we should go around this one. And so you kind of go back down this ridge, and you skirt around, and you avoid whatever
any possibility of winding up there camping at nighttime.
Yes, and that is something that you're going to need to do. So you find a much better spot, a much safer location, and your party makes camp overnight. I'm going to be making a roll for the nighttime camping as well. Truly, your survival ability, your wilderness guide skills, and the wisdom of the owl that Grazam bestowed upon you lent itself much to your aid. Your party is going to be arriving early the next day.
Fire of low embers, a couple of jerboa on a stick.
Mm-hmm. You have plentiful rations. Yeah, plentiful rations that were arranged by Yakal. So you have plenty to eat, water, some nice wine from the tables of the Tarbir Palace, and you all get.
You got to eat a bit of desert rat, just for the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
We have plenty of food, but we still go fishing.
Put some spicy peppers on it. That'll cover up any of the, the grubby, gamey accents that it might undertones it might have.
Don't eat the rear bit of the jerboa, just the nice front meat.
Always good advice. Don't eat a rat's ass.
Yeah.
But you all rest well. You have a very restful night. And the following morning, you arrive at the location indicated by the map.
Well,
the mountain is rather large. It is a tall collection of jagged spires. But according to the map, you don't need to mess around with trying to climb up those sharp vertical rocks. You follow it, and okay, well, here's this jut that there's this burst icon on the map, and it's just a rock face. It's just the side of the mountain. No,
there must be some entrance.
No sign, no door, no nothing.
Here. Looking for signs of any disturbance on the ground, any old cart tracks or excavated, like unusual heaps of dirt from excavations.
You can make your choice of a perception or an investigation check. I think either could work here.
We'll try for
Can I guide him
perception.
or help him in any way?
Yes, of course.
Uh, 11?
Last one before?
Yeah.
Mulga, you look about. Nope. You see no signs of any excavations, cart tracks. It doesn't look like anyone has been around here. It's just the side of this jagged mountain.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I can read the map and here we are, but I don't see any obvious signs of an entrance to you.
Or is it upside down?
The map?
Yes. Did you roll it out the right way?
Short of receiving more insults from you, I think I'll just let you take over from here, shall I?
All right then. Well, this mace looks like it's magical. Perhaps it's a key of some sort. Why don't you wave it at the mountain?
So you hand it back to me so that if I have a failure, you can comment on that too. Snatches the mace up. Wave.
You wave the mace of Aradoka back and forth. Whatever it is you were expecting, it does not happen.
Any other bright ideas?
Speaking of bright, is the sun out? And it's
Yes. Yeah, it's blue sky, bright sun, hot morning, a bit of a breeze.
Can we? What would it be to climb this mountain? Is it like doable or is it precarious?
Quite precarious. It's a tall mountain. Its peak is about 1,300 feet, 1,300 feet up, steep and jagged rock. But there are some people that are expert climbers, so someone could be able to do it.
But the map indicates that we're not going up to the peak, though. It's the
You feel pretty
peak's not
confident
here.
about the map. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's the peak. It looks like you're at the right spot. Just there's no obvious entrance.
So it was my last character that was into climbing unnecessary things. This character, definitely not.
I pat the severed head of Guox that's in my backpack and I say, I wish you were still here, friend.
May I? Is the using the dwarves stone cunning? Can I inspect like this built face to see if I can extract any information that could prove
Excellent.
helpful?
Yes, dwarves are very cunning with stone, and many things are made out of stone. That's a wonderful trait to have. So whatever skill you want to use, or however you just want to describe what you're doing, and we can find a skill that matches that and apply your it's advantage, I believe.
It's double the proficiency. Or
Okay, there you go. It's like you have expertise with it.
yes, and I will guide myself if I may.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, that's 22 without the guidance. Okay, I rolled an 18, 2 plus 2, 22 plus 3, 25.
Okay. So you're using a specific skill?
It says about history.
A history check. Okay.
Yes.
All right, 25. Well, you know a thing or two about historical locations and methods of building out of stone, and well, dwarves, of course, they know how to do it the best. And no dwarf has messed around with this mountain. Otherwise, it would be looking in much better shape. Okay, let's see. You're thinking there's probably some kind of concealment to the entrance. It could be a lever, a button. It could be something magical, maybe a password you have to say. Maybe there's something specific you have to do. Atticus had this idea. He was like, wave the mace around. Maybe Atticus was onto something. You're thinking that there's probably some kind of concealed door or tunnel or something of some such.
Okay. Guys, first things first, this is not something that any dwarf would build. It's too simple. So I think that's our most important lead. Second of all, not as important, but there might be something hidden around here. So maybe, do we have any password or any sentence from the tombs that could help with something like that, or anything, any magical item that would attract to whatever is hidden around here?
Other than that magical mace, I can't think of anything else. There's nothing we found in the tomb.
Grazam, your stone cunning, you feel like Atticus was kind of onto something there. Just wasn't quite the right thing. But you think he was in the right direction.
Atticus, I think you were in the right direction.
Humans always do things in this real just simple, crude way. There's no grand dwarven architectural engineering here.
Oh, Grazam, try smacking the actual cliff face with the mace. It might need to make contact.
Why me?
Well, you're the one who hasn't given up yet.
Oh, I would hate to steal the opportunity, to steal your opportunity to discover something grand like that. So please, after you, after all,
Not
you
like
have
we
the
have an
mace.
audience, man. all right.
Guards are our audience. Don't
Okay,
forget.
if the cliff face falls on me, I'm going to haunt you. Give me that.
I'm running back.
Cynus
Behind the
will
trees.
stand close to you, Mulga, so that you
nice.
feel as though someone is there.
You can hold up the rocks and I'll breathe underneath you. I'm glad I cleaned you first. Okay. Smack.
All right, Mulga, you go up to the rock face. Punk! A stone slab descends. See, Grazam? Just dumb, stupid, smack the rock with a mace. Only a human would design something like that.
No imagination. I wouldn't expect anything more.
There's a tunnel beyond, a dark tunnel.
I will start a small incantation, grab a simple component, and produce light.
And the light could be shining from a particular object of your choice. It could be just a point floating there in space. What do you think?
The tip of my spear of warning.
Tip of the spear of warning. Okay. And then you also are holding onto the mace of Aradoka, correct?
It's stowed on my belt.
Stowed on the belt. Okay. So Mulga has a glowing mace. And what order do you all go in, if it matters to you?
I'll go first.
Mulga,
Remus
Cynus, Atticus, Remus,
Is
and
it-
Grazam?
Is
I
it
get the gist
is
that I'm the
it
new one in the party and I'm paying my dues.
is it narrow, or is it like a five? Can two people walk side by side, or
You could have two
Is it-
people walking side by side. It's not a very wide tunnel, but two people shoulder by shoulder, that it's not too cramped.
all right? Well, Remus will ready his weapons and follow closely behind Mulga, as will Atticus. And Atticus will light a torch and hold it. They have a shield and a torch ready to go.
So
You're
Mulga
lighting
and
You're
Cynus.
lighting the torch. Right.
So Mulga and Cynus are up front, and Atticus and Remus are behind, and then Grazam is all the way in the back which is good for both a dwarf and a druid. I feel safer with Grazam in the back.
You all traverse the tunnel, and it eventually leads to an opening, a crevice in the middle of the mountains with open air above. At the widest part of this aperture, set into a rocky wall ahead of you, is a large stone archway. Just beyond, inside, there are steps leading down into darkness, and above the arch leer two sculpted heads of bestial monsters whose long, forked tongues each hold an eyeball. I've got an image for you guys coming up in Discord.
You know that carved temple in the middle of the desert in, where is it, like, Tunisia or somewhere or other? Reminds me of that. Oh yeah, cool.
Mulga, there weren't any other twin princes who did horrible things, were there? Was it just
I
the
didn't even
one?
know about the first two, friend.
This does remind us of that creature, correct? Because those heads look pretty familiar.
Oh, yes.
Whatever demon was the power behind that curse, I think we found its holiday home. I don't know about you, but I've got
Just
some
to be
hairs
sure.
standing up on my neck right now. Oh well, come this far. Confidence decreasing.
Maybe we're in the wrong place. We could go back and search for something else.
No.
It's probably a different mountain that we're supposed to hit.
This is the place. I feel it.
Yeah,
But-
it's just a carving. It's just a carving.
Last time you felt something, had one of us dead. But, okay.
Glorious.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
I will cast
Okay.
aid on all three of you. Aid. You have +5 maximum hit point maximum.
Okay, so this applies to your allies, but not yourself?
I choose 3 creatures, up to 3 creatures,
Up to
and
3
it's
creatures,
the 3
okay.
of them.
Okay, so Mulga, Cynus, and Atticus, but not Grazam and
Well-
not Remus. Your hit points just increased by 5. Your maximum hit points, you don't have any damage, so your current hit points as well. And that will go for an 8-hour duration. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also, don't forget, I guess, Mulga, you're holding the mace. The mace, has it's a +1 magical mace, and there is a spell imbued into it. Once per day, you can activate it. It's a spell called Fervor. It's a bonus action to cast it. And it's good for someone who is fighting in melee.
A very pointed warning. We have resources. We need to use them.
Just trying to be
We still
helpful.
have this.
Just trying to be
We have this. Scrolls that we got from the knock. We got some. Did we use them? We didn't
I
end
don't
up
remember
using
anyone using the scrolls that Aket gave you. She gave you knock and
Silence.
I think Grazam has them,
silence and cure wounds, if I'm not mistaken. I can find out.
and there was a fourth one. I can't remember what it was. I think maybe we did use one of them.
Cure wounds,
Sadly.
dispel magic, knock, and
There you go.
silence. Did you already use one of them though? Silence, was it? When you were fighting the
No,
guards?
silence. I use silence as one of my spells, using a spell slot, not
Using a spell
on the
slot.
scroll.
Okay. So the 4 spell scrolls are unused. Who has those? It's
think
probably
only
it's
Grazam
probably
can
Grazam,
cast
right?
them.
Because you're the one who can use them. Right. Okay. So Grazam, you've got all the scrolls.
Make sure to make those scrolls will be worth it. Don't be afraid to use them.
I should mention, since the casting of Mage Armor by this particular Warlock is a class feature, he doesn't expend a spell slot. He simply takes one of his orbs, throws it in the air, it expands into the form of a bubble, and then cling films around him.
Excellent. You have been sheathed in an armament of force.
Prophylactic.
Well, there's probably nothing in there that's going to require you to have armor, but just in case.
It only gives me an extra 1 AC.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right,
Hey.
because you're probably wearing some kind of leather or gambeson or some such.
Yeah, and it just gives you a dexterity bonus thingy, and my dexterity's terrible because
Let us all have a moment of silence for the Gambeson that is so mercilessly ruined in 5e.
Well, it's in the Emporium. Okay, so you all are staring. You're basically in the middle of a mountain in this like crevice in the midst of these high rocky walls, and here's this archway with darkness and steps going down into some place, and these monstrous stony heads leering and their
the way
tongues
this
grasping
shit
eyeballs.
is kept by the dead. No. Right, I head in.
Mulga, you approach the arch, and a voice, I should say 2 voices, growly, emanate from the monstrous heads. Number the suns. Do you
2.
respond? Do you say 2? Okay. And you proceed forward. Yes. You respond with 2 and you proceed forward. When you do so,
With confidence.
a ray beams at you from one of the stony eyes.
In this particular instance, it feels, I must tell you that as a wearer of a talisman, a magical talisman, oh, the Spear of Warning, in fact. While the weapon is on my person, I have advantage on initiative rolls.
Okay.
In addition, you and any of my companions within 30 feet can't be surprised, except when incapacitated or by something other than a non-magical sleep.
Okay, excellent. So that's a great weapon to have. I don't think it actually applies in this case, but those situations
Worth
come
saying.
up sooner or later. You are struck by this blasting ray, and you must make a strength saving throw.
Oh, great. The one stat I've got -1 in. That's an 8.
You suffer 15 force damage. You are blasted back and knocked onto your back.
You hear, nope. This puff of smoke comes out of my mouth. Ow.
Cynus grabs your hand and helps you back to your feet.
Thank you. Oh, my coat.
So he asked for the sons, and you said 2.
That really hurt. I thought he meant the princes.
Yeah, sons as in male children, not sons in the sky. And you responded 2, and I guess it didn't like that answer.
Oh.
Guess we never did. Maybe it's the sons of that Hierophant that had that concubine. Do we
Reach
we
up,
don't- we
up towards the sky. Oh. And a little shaft of light parts through the clouds and beams down on me, and a soothing healing ray restores some hit points.
How many sons did that high priest have? You don't know. Unless there's some other way to trick this trap. I want to... How high are these eyeball statuette things?
Oh, 11, 12, 13, 14, around there.
Highly
Feet.
dangerous is what I would say.
Do you think I could? I have a spell scroll that dispels magic. Do you think it would be a good idea to try and dispel this thing? Even though I highly doubt it, but you never know.
I guess you could try. If we can't think of an answer, we just say each number that we just come up with and step through the chamber until we get to the right one. Although, if Mulga got knocked on his backside, then I don't think I want to have that happen to me either. So how many sons did they have? I will wasn't anything in the... Remember we found that note didn't have anything in regards to a number on it. It did have the initial CT, but that doesn't...
I'll take the mace out and have another study of that, just to see if there's any clues hidden in the patterns and symbols.
You turn the mace over in your hands. You can make an investigation check.
Nat 20. Renders a 22.
Okay. You feel very confident that the mace head has nothing to do with this particular enigma.
No.
Do those snakes have anything to do with God Badawas?
Sometimes Badawas, who is like the evil one, the dark, villainous god or demon lord, you might say, in the Matristrianism religion, he does get associated with snakes and with scorpions, generally nasty, animals that people generally don't like, vermin type things.
Would I know about any sons that he would have, or anything regarding that?
The god Badawas, does he have any sons?
Yes.
So this is a point of scholarly debate, or perhaps religious perspective. Some would say, yes, he has a multitude of sons, and many of them are like demons. Others would say, well, those are not his actual sons. They're not literally his progeny. They're like his followers and thralls. So depending upon how you want to look at it, there are dark creatures that serve or are aligned with Badawas.
Is there anything?
Oh, I guess specific to your current situation, no, there's no, not to your knowledge, there's not any kind of belief that's like Badawas had 3 sons or 4 sons. It's like this multitude of fiendish things.
Grazam, do you have any idea how long ago this stone construction was made?
Do I? DM?
I'm going to let your stone cunning just continue on. I think it's connected enough. I don't think we need to do a new roll. Well, certainly this place was made. You peg it to be between 2 to 4 decades ago that it was constructed.
I peg it to be.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No.
This is a nuanced detail, but to you it seems like it's not. It doesn't seem completely finished. You know, like you've seen places that are fully furnished and they've finished all the detail work. This doesn't feel like that. It feels like mostly completed, but not 100%.
Was there any events or any current leader that had like fallen out of power around 40 years ago or something? Like, could it be related to an earlier ruler or dynasty or leader or something, and that relates to their sons, perhaps? The possible constructor of this tomb. So I'm thinking about.
Fuck it off.
Thinking about history.
Well, I mean, you could certainly speculate about those things, but there's no like detail or evidence that would make you think that.
No, I'm not doing it by observation. I'm doing it by deduction.
Just deduction.
So I'm using my intelligence more than my wisdom.
Thus far, everything that you've seen seems to lead you to believe that Aradoka and whoever was in league with him built this place. And Grazam's thinking, yeah, this looks like it was built maybe 25, 35 years ago, somewhere around there, which does match up with timelines.
Do we have like a high priest or something with children?
Well, that is a terribly taboo thing. Like even Mulga would feel embarrassed to even say something like that out loud. It's unthinkable.
That's just the sort of thing that I'd put as a password for a temple. I don't know about you, but once I get tased, I sit down and I think hard about what I just did.
I'm going to think back to the crypt that we were in, and I'm going to try and remember, were there like empty tombs that were ready to be filled? Maybe a collection of little tombs ready to be filled with children.
I'm thinking back to what you all saw in the crypt and investigated. No. Maybe you caught a glimpse like through that one passageway into the catacomb area, and maybe you caught a glimpse of a couple of those wall alcoves that were vacant. But nothing really stands out. None of the sarcophagi that you all inspected were empty. Nothing.
What specifically did the statues say to me?
Number the suns.
Oh,
Like two
maybe.
growly bestial voices speaking in tandem.
This high priest was supposed to have 0 sons, 0 kids, right? Maybe we need to acknowledge. Maybe we need to acknowledge that there are no rightful sons whatsoever. But everyone that wants to try, be my guest. I wouldn't want to steal your thunder.
Me to go up and say 0. That's going to be a gamble.
Atticus, feeling brave?
I'm having my sleep up.
I'm going to throw my torch down the archway and see what happens.
Okay.
See if the magic is going to be interested in that.
The torch rolls down the steps, and you can just see indirectly its incandescence somewhere beyond. There's no effect.
Okay, well. Alright, so we're trying for 0. I'll see what I can do. And Atticus will step forward and have his shield ready, which I don't think it will help him, but he'll step forward and wait for the voice.
Mulga whispers to Grazam, "Hey, maybe it doesn't reset, and that was just a one-shot thing."
Number the sons.
Nope.
0!
Atticus, you say 0 and bravely proceed. It is actually the same blasting ray that directs itself towards you. Make a strength saving throw.
Mulga's like, "Oh shit, that hit me!"
Okay, that's a 16.
Wow, it could have taken my head off.
That is a success. 12 damage is halved to 6 force damage, a mere 6 damage. And you hold your ground, and it, like, you know, maybe budges you back an inch or so, but you power through it. You unless you're like changing your mind last second, you can power
tumble forward.
Yeah, you can power right through in. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to be kind of
Maybe
doing
the trick is don't say anything at all.
I'll be doing 2 different
You could target sound
maps here.
Have we thought of that?
Or I guess 2 images.
What a fiendish trap that would be. Ask you a question and shoot at anybody who talks.
There we go. And Atticus tumbled through. Let me reveal some area here.
Ah, tumble. 2nd edition, I miss you so.
Yeah, 3rd edition too. Oh, I used the heck out of tumble.
Mm.
As did many. DC 20. Try to get through an enemy space without provoking attacks of opportunity. Atticus, you're inside. You make your way down the stairs. I don't know how gracefully, but you are inside. Within, the atmosphere is, well, it's still dry and warm, much like the exterior. And there's an ever-burning sconce providing some illumination in this room. As well, your torch is there on the floor. So, you know, it's still got some of its flames burning. And it's quiet. Quiet as a grave.
I'll pick up my torch and wave it to my friends. If you just make your way on through. It's just it's a bit rough, but you can just tough it out.
I've actually misspoken. There's not an ever-burning sconce in this room, but you do have your torch.
All right, hold on. Maybe there's something in here. Hold on.
There is a couple of features that you might be interested in me mentioning.
I'm gonna see if there's any numbers written on the wall first.
No numbers, but
They're like
the walls.
Post-it notes?
The walls are
Passwords?
adorned with bas reliefs that depict religious figures making pilgrimages through the mountains and badlands. And there is a stony door here on the northeastern, here in the northeastern part of the chamber.
there's no bas reliefs of sons. Have women giving birth to sons.
Make an investigation check. Or perception. I think perception could also serve there, right? You're just looking.
Natural 20, but with the perception, -2 modifier.
Did you do perception or did you do investigation?
Oh, if I can do investigation, that's a 0 modifier.
It's your choice. It's your choice. Perception is take a quick look. Investigation is spend time thoroughly searching details, and
I will investigate for a 20.
Okay,
exactly 20.
You choose investigation. So I'm assuming your party's okay with waiting for a few minutes. You really look around the bas reliefs of this chamber of pilgrims. There are no images of a woman giving birth. There are some parts where the pilgrims do seem to have young people or even children in their numbers, but there are a number of, there are various pilgrim groups and figures throughout here. Nothing is stands out to you as being special or highlighted or presented as children of a hierophant or even a high priest. There is one detail, though. There is a hierophant in one of the engravings on one of the wall panels who is carrying one of those tall, elaborate hierophant staffs. And the icon at the top of his holy staff, literally the stone of the bas relief, it is its own separate piece, like a button that could be depressed.
Is that near the door? Does that look like a door button, or it looks like a stop the trap button?
It is.
It's a button, man.
It is on it's on the north wall, like right over here.
Okay, that looks like a door button.
What was your investigation total?
20.
It was a 20.
Natural
okay.
20 with 0 modifier.
Okay, well, a 20 is a pretty good result. So you can reason this out or figure this out, that this mechanism is not related to the magical statue out front. This is related to some kind of mechanism, probably with the door.
All right. Well,
20 is really good. 20 is really good. I might actually.
Can you imagine putting a doorbell at the front of the dungeon, and if you press it, it just summons all the monsters?
I'm going to have to tell you a story later on once we're done streaming, AJ. You'll get a kick out of it on that note. So 20 is quite good. I think you actually identify even more. You are confident that there is a trap built into the wall right by the door. You see this like slot that's kind of conveniently concealed to look like part of the bas relief. You imagine there's probably some kind of blade that slashes out, and you think that this button in the staff can deactivate or push it a second time to reactivate this scything trap. So that's something.
Well,
that's good for you.
I yell out to my allies. I say, yes, it looks like it's trapped in here as well. I can't seem to see anything about numbers though. Give me a few more minutes. I will push the button, and then I will.
There's a clinking type sound of a mechanism inside the wall.
I'll go up to the door and I'll take my trident and I'll just quickly give it a shove to make sure that nothing's going to slice out.
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to prod open the door with the trident, or are you just kind of giving it a poke?
Prodding. Just sort of just to
giving
make sure
a prod.
that the trap disable. I didn't just enable the trap. We'll find,
What
you have turned off the scythe trap.
Oh.
If you push the button again, you will rearm it.
Okay, that's my assumption. Okay, so I just gingerly push open the door, or pull open the door, whatever the door is.
In this case, it is indeed a pull. No, I'm sorry, it is indeed a push. And all right, now beyond things are lit. It was just this first one that didn't have the ever-burning torch. Atticus.
Put my torch in the middle of that antechamber then, and leave it there.
Okay. Atticus,
what do I see?
You see a corridor that runs down and then comes to a T split going either way. And just for general description's sake, at somewhat regular intervals, there are these ever-burning sconces that are kind of like a torchlight effect. It's making a well-illuminated atmosphere, though here and there will be some shadowy corners. A little bit dusty, a few cobwebs, but not bad. Doesn't look like it's It's not like in a moldering state. Pretty well constructed.
Okay.
Doesn't look. It seems like Grazam was telling the truth. Doesn't seem like this place is really that old.
All right. Well, I will continue forward a little bit. I'll light another torch, and hold my shield up with my torch, and I'll make my way forward to the T intersection in an attempt to find if I can glean any information regarding to a number, maybe a sun, maybe a bas relief, maybe a painting, whatever it is that happens to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
Okay.
for significant numbers or suns.
What is your method of going about things? Are you a slow and sneaky, stealthy in this case, or are you just moving ahead and trying to not waste time?
I'm being pretty cautious.
Being
This is a
cautious.
precarious situation.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold the torch out in front above me, and I'm going to just look around the corners both way
Okay.
to see if there's anything.
Yes. Let me do some revealing here of what you can see. There seems to be some sort of chamber to the north and as well to the south.
All right. Well, I guess I'm not seeing anything relating to numbers or suns anywhere here.
No, not yet at least. Though there is something else. Make a perception check.
Can I kismet myself?
I don't
Would it-
see any
would it-
reason why not. Now, Kismet is the guidance, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you chant your prayer.
The -2 modifier, an 11 on the dice, and a 3 on the kismet. It's a total of 12.
12. Okay, so I was gonna call for a stealth check, but since you're chanting a prayer, I'm gonna not need that any longer. And you hear the sound of movement up ahead, steps, and the sound of footsteps, shuffling, creaking, multiple sounds. Something is coming. Give me a real quick gut reaction, like a fast, just free action thing.
I'm actually going to just stand there at the T intersection with the torch, and I'm going to try to keep my eye on both passages, and I'm actually trying to attract the attention of whatever it is. And then the moment I see it, I'm running back through the chamber, to the entryway.
Okay, so that's fine. I think most of that is your own strategizing of what you might want to do, so that's fine. And I would like everybody to roll for initiative.
Before we roll initiative, can I just quickly go to the bathroom?
Oh yes, most certainly. Don't want anyone soiling their underpants as horrors jump out of the darkness. Cynus has been quiet. What has Cynus been doing?
Cynus has been standing and watching. I think that he's staring at these two statued heads. Like, I don't know, like an eagle would watch some other birds fly to figure out how they work, where they're going, just kind of tilting his head and watching when the rays come out. He's not great with magic, and he's certainly not good with riddles. Neither am I, JB.
Uh-huh. Very well. That's fine. I would never expect Cynus to do anything, wildly out of his purview. He seems pretty convicted to his areas of expertise.
With the Ichoriite, when I read it, and why I gravitated towards it, is the idea that something can be created for a divine purpose outside of worship. Like, they're not made to worship a god. They're made to do a thing. Mm-hmm. They're made to focus on one objective with their life. And for Cynus, it's the idea that he has a purpose, and if he is not able to do it himself alone, then he's not right to do it in the first place, and he deserves to be destroyed. So that's kind of how I've been trying to play him, that ever forward marching.
Yeah.
He's a hammer and he hits nails. That's what he does.
I appreciate the severity. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll initiative all, and just tell me who's got highest, and we'll go like descending after that.
I rolled a 14. Does anyone have higher?
19.
Atticus.
Grazam with a 19.
19 Grazam, okay.
Atticus has 17.
Okay, 17 for Atticus. Mulga, are you there? Mulga! All right, Mulga is still trying to recover from the blast of force. So, what I will tell you is something is... You hear, Atticus, the sound of drums, but not the deep timbre of normal drums, not like skins stretched out, but the sounds as though bones beating upon skull tops. And it has this strange reverberating quality to it that is unlike any music that you have ever heard before. And it has a insidious fury to it. So that happens. There's this strange drumming, and let's see. You haven't alerted your allies just yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, haven't yelled out or anything.
So in that case, I want to get Grazam's reaction. So what would Grazam do? Put yourself in Grazam's mind. You're waiting on Atticus. He's gone into this strange, dark place down there. And then from somewhere somewhat kind of far off, you hear these resounding echoes of strange bone drums. What would Gramax do?
I will come a little bit closer to the entrance, and I want to shout, hey, is everything all right? And I want to have Blade of Death, the cantrip, from Esper's new book. And if I see anything that I don't know of, I will shoot it.
Grazam, you shout out to Atticus, and Atticus, you hear his voice, not too nearby, but it kind of resounds through the corridors, and he's checking to see if everything is okay down there, and you've got this strange bone drumming resounding in your ears. And then Grazam, you chant this dark spell, a divine spell, but a dark one, and you're holding it at the ready should anything appear that you deem a threat. Atticus, you catch glimpses of things, skeletal things, creatures that move and shuffle and creak about on bony limbs, and they seem to be warriors, but they are all of bone. They wear armor of bone. Their weapons are made of bone. There is something about them that seems to have a dark skeletal fury to them, and all the more so with this drumming music that's happening. And they are flinging bone-like shards, like arrows, like shooting arrows of bone at you. And I have them on a different page. Okay. Give me just 1 second here. Actually, I'm going to... I completely thought I had this already ready to go, but I didn't. And I'm juggling many different windows, and I'm going to be turning on...
If you want to run this adventure for you and your friends, go to esperthebard.com. Check out the Blood Lament adventure.
If you want to know how many sons there are, you can find out for $10 U.S. American currency.
Okay. Thank you. I've organized myself now. I appreciate your infomercial there. Where are you at, Atticus? Do you have cover against this attack? I will give you half cover, +2 to your AC. Here are bone shots. That is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
That is a 19 to hit.
That hits. Just.
That is a critical hit. Oh my. Oh my. 70. I think it's gonna.
Atticus.
Yeah. I think he's gonna add in a little bit of dark inspiration from the drumming on this one. 18.
Misses. Just.
Misses. Woo! All right. He rolled low on his dark inspiration, and the 2 shots of a third skeletal warrior. Oh my gosh. 24 and 24.
Both hits.
I just rolled really, really high on these skeletal warriors here. You have been shot 5 times. One of them is a critical hit.
Depends on the damage. Let's see what happens.
Atticus.
Viewers at home, always remember that the number of enemies in a group is very, very important in 5th edition.
I don't have any reaction abilities.
You take a total of 40 piercing damage.
40.
Your reaction is internally bleed.
Because I took damage from the trap, that means that I will instantly be killed because of the massive damage.
They are individual shots, not one.
Oh, okay.
Not one hit. No. That would be freaky though. That would be really freaky.
Boromir.
Imagine if it was a swarm and they all shot all the arrows all at once.
All right. If I go to 0 and then I fall prone because I'm dying, then that means I have disadvantage on the other attacks.
That's a good point.
It's a silver lining. So I have
maybe
13 hit points total.
13 total, or 13 is your current hit points?
13 current.
13 current hit points, huh? And your maximum is 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that with the aid factored in?
+5 with the aid.
That's with the aid. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say you only have 15
Yeah, sorry.
HP.
Yes. No, I have 20. Sorry. So that's 25 minus the 6 that I took at the front. So that's 19.
19. Yeah. I should have rolled the damages individually. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I'm going to give you the die of fate, the D20 of fate.
Okay.
I don't know how much is going to help you, but maybe it's something. Do you favor even or odd, Atticus?
Let's go for the odds.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
I've rolled odd. So I'm going to I'm going to re-roll the last two of those hits that hit you. They were both nat 19s, so I'm going to re-roll both of them as a disadvantage because you have already fallen by the time these bone arrows loose. Yeah? I really should have rolled those damages individually. I'm a fool. All right. Okay, so one's a nat 18, so we can assume that one hits you. And then how does a 16 fare? That misses you, doesn't it?
That will miss.
Okay, so you had 19 hit points, right? Okay. So lessons in dungeon mastering, everybody.
You got all excited. You were like, "Oh boy, I get to roll all this damage against my players."
Yeah. So one hit you, then a critical hit you. So that was, we'll say that was the 19. Okay. And then instead of 3 more hitting you, only 2 more hit you. Does that sound right to everybody? We initially said you got hit by 5. 1 was a critical. It was a hit, a critical, hit. And with this reroll that I just did, that last hit actually was a miss. The first hit and the critical took you to 0. And then 1 hits you for a death save fail, and then 1 hits you for a death save fail. You are at 2 failed death saves. You're not totally dead.
Okay. Wow. I just need to roll really good on my death save.
Roll 20, it's easy.
Does Hand of Fate work on a death save?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, well, that
Sure
might
does.
be the determining factor of this.
Because it is a saving throw, even though it's not tied to a ability score. Mulga, we need an initiative check from you.
I did roll a 17, but I'm going to go last. As you said, I'm recovering from getting blasted.
Okay. I'm glad you heard that. All right, so I'll put you at the end, which actually doesn't hardly change anything at all.
Not really.
Nah. So Atticus, no one knows what's going on with you except you yourself, and all you know is these mighty skeletal warriors in bone armor with bone weapons just shot the hell out of you, and then tremendous excruciating pain, and out go the lights, and you faint to the floor, bleeding terribly. It is now your turn, and at the beginning of your turn, you need to make a death saving throw. Would you like to use Hand of Fate on your death saving throw?
I think I'd like to use Hand of Fate.
Okay.
Esper Emporium.
Okay.
Sovereign.
I'm
Paragon ability.
glad you said yes.
Okay. No.
Why are you grabbing your head? What does that mean?
That's a 9 and a 4.
Oh my god. Okay.
Atticus dies.
Atticus, you gush with blood as 5 arrows are stabbed into your body. One is like through your heart. That is unfortunate. I rolled really high on those attacks. Remus is not dead. You still have Remus.
I was going to ask about that. Like, at least Remus is still here for you.
Yes, Remus. You know, actually, there was a time where the Sovereign died, but the companion lived on. It was in some earlier adventure of mine. And he became this, like, legendary... The companion went on to become this, like, legendary figure that we were all remembered. And so what does Remus do? There's strange, eerie bone drumming echoing from inside of the dungeon. And
Well, I don't think Remus gives any supernatural ability to know that something's in trouble, but I assume that he will perhaps have a gut feeling that his agent has been slain. He'll just run straight through. He will attempt to run straight through the trap, and he won't say anything.
If you're running through, I'm running through, and I think we just rush it.
Bum rush the trap.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Maybe it resets on initiative 20. Who knows?
So Remus bolts ahead and goes to run through the archway.
guessing they could only afford one beam.
An eye ray strikes Remus. Make a wisdom saving throw, Remus.
Wisdom. Ooh, okay. Wish that was my death save. That is a 22 total.
That is a success. So this is dealing 17 psychic, halved to 8. Remus suffers 8 psychic damage, and he feels his joints and limbs start to lock up, but he powers through it through willpower against this magical paralysis and continues on, and he is in. He saws his action.
A bit more severe.
Yep, he's going to continue dashing if he still has an action.
Okay, he dashes. He can see Remus, or Remus can see Atticus lying in a spreading pool of dark crimson blood, arrows protruding from his body.
You should not have doubted yourself. That's all you can do.
Yes. Cynus. Cynus, we're on to you.
I think I'm of a similar mind. Wait, are you sure? Because I think Grazam rolled higher than I did. I only rolled a 14.
Oh my. I've skipped Grazam. My apologies. We're gonna do Grazam's turn right now.
A lot's happened in this one turn.
No, I'm sorry. We didn't skip Grazam. Grazam shouted for Atticus, and he readied a Blade of Death.
Okay.
Ha!
So I'm of a similar
I
mind.
apologize for nothing.
I'm of a similar mind to Mulga / AJ. I'm going to dodge and then move forward and down the stairs, hopefully dodging whatever beam comes out of these eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Because to my perspective as Cynus, Atticus goes inside a moment later, and then Remus runs inside. It's like, well, here's the glory. Here's the death. I need to be there.
Okay, so you enter a defensive stance or a defensive mentality, and you proceed forward. Dodge will impose disadvantage on attacks against you, and you gain advantage on dexterity saving throws against things that you can see that you're aware of.
Yep.
So maybe there's a dexterity ray in there. Could be. So
if it's not, then that's
if it's not, then yeah, it is what it is. So Cynus charges ahead. Trap, puzzle, be damned, and a ray streaks towards you. I need to roll that. It is the blasting ray that you have seen previously. Make a strength saving throw.
Strength is good for me. 17.
All right. 21 force reduces to 10, and you are not blasted back. You take 10 force damage, and you proceed into the dungeon. Mulga. You've seen your allies weather the terrible trap and rush in bravely, desperately even. What do you reckon, Mulga?
Oh, me. Sorry.
You got this. I was 1 second away from saying, AJ?
Yes.
He's really concentrating really hard, guys. Give him space.
Summoning an orb, I'm going to use it in the way that I use the Mage Hand. Another class, another feature of my character here. Hopefully as some form of a decoy target that will lead directly in front of me as I run in. Hopefully it can't tell the difference between a living and a dead thing.
Okay. Mulga, you spring forward, and as you step to cross the threshold, you fling an orb, and you have magical control over the orbs too, not just your talent, your dexterous talent with them. Help me out here. What's a skill that would be associated with what you're doing? Arcana, maybe?
Arcana or performance, or just a straight up dexterity check, or even possibly deception.
I think your choice of Arcana or performance.
What
Both
about
of those.
a Charisma Arcana? Because that's how he controls his magic, right?
I'm going to go for performance.
I could see that. Okay, or performance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can do Charisma and then apply Arcana or performance. Your choice.
Yeah, performance. Come on, baby. Okay, so that's a 16.
16? Okay. Just going to use the traps DC. All right, you fling up your orbs, and it dinks off the statue. You didn't mean to quite do it like that, and up, and it's going for you. You were close. I want you to know you were close, though. Okay, my D4 loves to roll that again. You are suffering the blasting ray once more. Make a strength saving throw.
It's an 8.
All right, you have failed. Though I rolled low on the damage, so maybe it helped you in some roundabout way after all. It is 10 force damage. You are blasted back whoof, against the wall and knocked prone.
Fuck. I'm back. I'm inside.
No, you got thrown backwards.
Yeah, the opposite of that.
Negative progress.
Yeah, the opposite of going inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on these fucking statues.
All right, so we are back to the top of initiative for round 2.
Do we roll again?
No. I am just reviewing some notes. Remus and Cynus, you hear the drumming continue. But freakier than that. This strange clattering, clangering of humeri and femuses, whatever, shin bones clacking against skull tops in some sort of darkly discordant rhythm. Grazam, the magic in your hands is about to fade. Are you okay with that? You want to do something else and hold that?
No, I'm not holding the Blade of Death.
Okay.
Watching the others going in, I'm just saying to myself, oh well, this is unheard of. A dwarf chickening out. I'm taking out my Dispel Magic Scroll. Before doing that, I wanna go just in front of the entrance and shout 1, just in case that's
Okay.
that's the right answer. And I'm not gonna pass yet. I want to cast a Dispel Magic on the snakes.
All right. You produce the scroll of Dispel Magic.
Yes.
I need you to make a wisdom check. Wisdom check. It's a 3rd level spell, which is just a little bit outside of your mastery. You're looking for a DC 13.
Okay. Let's go.
All right. Yep. Just wisdom, straight up wisdom check.
Yes, 16.
All right. You look at the scroll. You read the phrases on there, and you read off the incantation. And there is a sound like a popping noise in the statue. It seemed like that worked. There's not any obvious effect, not yet, but it seemed like that was a functional thing you just did. The statue a moment later retaliates, though you can tell that it's having a little bit of trouble getting its rays to fire. So it does end up retaliating against you, but it seems like you've nearly dispelled. Yeah.
Okay.
You have partially. I think that's the best way I should describe it. You have partially deactivated it. A ray strikes you. Make a Constitution saving throw. It is actually a blast of lightning.
13.
13 is not enough. A ray of lightning strikes you, Grazam, and you suffer 13 lightning damage, and you are stunned by that.
Wow. Half HP already. Okay.
Did anybody read the level requirement on this?
Who made this adventure?
You must be level blood.
You can find out today by going to esperthebard.com.
Yeah.
Dan, there's traps
maybe-
actually trapping us.
Maybe we should have had
Oh, I like
a
my
5th
characters.
player.
It's extra crispy.
Yeah. Maybe we should have had a 5th character, but you guys are seasoned pros. You can handle it. All right. We're turning now back to the skeletal foes. Yep. And now we go to Remus.
Remus will. You can see that Atticus has been littered with arrows, so he's obviously not going to jump around that corner and suffer the same fate. He's going to go down to where Atticus's body is and grab it and drag it back up into the antechamber.
Remus, you begin to pull not just begin, you actually do it. You pull the still unmoving and hemorrhaging Atticus back up the corridor, creating a long streak bloodstain along the ground as you do, maybe knocking out a bone arrow or a couple nasty bone shards along the way.
It's the end of his turn.
Cynus. Cynus, you have entered into this strange vault. You see this chamber of pilgrims ahead, an open stone door. You hear Remus dragging something.
All right, I'm going to move forward to that second door where Remus is about to come up the stairs. And I'm going to I'm going to stand so that nothing in the hallway can see me. So down southward, one square, please.
All right.
Yes, right there. I'll peek and see what Remus is doing, but I don't know where the enemy is, and I can't address it. So Cynus actually says, "Have you seen them? Have you seen the archers?" Seeing the arrows sticking out of Atticus's body.
He felled at the corner of the hallway. Perhaps we should find cover and approach more carefully.
Agreed.
You also note, Cynus, a strange detail that the arrows are made entirely of bone.
Interesting. Okay, Cynus is built for war, and I'm going to imagine that he knows bones and bone drums and clattering. He's going to assume skeletons, and he looks down at his daggers and thinks, fuck. Puts them back in his belt. I think for his action, he's going to. Oh God! I only have one action that I think I can do, and I only have one thing. No, I don't. I have a chakram. I forgot. I'm going to ready an action to throw a chakram at anything that tries to come down the hallway to shoot at Remus.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to do Second Wind.
Okay.
Heal up the damage that I took from the blast, and hopefully keep Remus's cover.
You invigorate yourself, as only a fighter can. Don't forget the aid, increasing your max hit points by 5. You pull out your bladed ring, hold it in hand, and keep a wary eye for any foe that might come nearby.
I rolled 11 for the Second Wind. That heals me back up to full.
Okay, excellent. Mulga. Once again, you were thrown back and just knocked onto your ass. You have dust and pebbles all over you, and Grazam is there with little licks of lightning running along him, and he's just kind of stuttering in place. That dispel that he used against the statue did seem effective, though. You think if just someone could do one more of those things, or perhaps through magical disarming, it would probably be disarmed. Do you have training in the Arcana skill, or proficiency, I should say? You're on mute.
Yes, I do.
So, if you are brave, you could approach and get right within arm's reach of the archway, make an Arcana check in attempt to magically disable this trap. Now, failure, of course, would have its repercussions. But you think if you could pull that off, that would just completely dispel it. It would be no more than lifeless stone.
I mean, hey, what's the worst that could happen?
You get turned inside out.
Let's see. Arcana is +5.
Oh my.
Can I just cast a spell, man?
Do you have a way to cast a spell at 4th level?
Yeah.
It's a 3rd level spell.
Dispel magic. I could cast it as a 4th level spell.
No,
You are character
have
level
access to
4. You only have access to 2nd level spells.
I thought we were 5th level.
4th level.
Oh, we've been 4th level for a long time,
4th level.
with 5.5 milestones.
Blood Lament, a 4th level adventure that you can purchase on esperthebard.com. Actually, if you read the beginning, there's a table of the adventure difficulty, and it gives you a gradient of party level 3 through 6, and how many characters are in the party, and kind of how difficult the adventure is likely to be. Though it is recommended, it's intended for a 4th level party.
Those of you at home who are unsure,
maybe should be 5 characters, but four is doable.
just keep in mind, if we knew a number, we would have taken no damage. Atticus would be up because he would have taken damage but not died, and everything would be fine.
Atticus, well,
25, he would have taken 40 damage, which would have dropped him in the very last shot.
You see, okay,
But your skeletons can roll over 20 for their attacks as well.
Let's talk about Mulga's current situation. Mulga has rolled an Arcana check to magically disable this magical trap, and he has rolled a 7.
Yeah.
Gulp. All right. 7 is not high enough. The thing stutters and then finally shoots its ray out. The blasting ray just loves you. It just loves you, and it loves you more than I can even describe. Make a strength saving throw.
At this point, I'd rather my character die than have to bother leveling.
You might have spoken too soon there, buddy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Wow. Why did you have to say that? What is that a failed save? Is that what it
Oh,
meant?
yeah.
It's 23 force damage. Ugh. Mulga is thrown back and just dashed awfully.
The third time.
Oh, Mulga.
TPK. TPK.
Might be. Gosh.
Oh no, he'll live.
We'll see. Okay. You guys still in this. Come on. What's all this doom and despair? Let's go to...
Fuck no. Mulga's running away. As soon as he comes to, he's out of there.
There are other strategies. The strange clangor of bone drumming continues. I wish I could... I need to make an audio file of what this sounds like, because I cannot vocalize what's in my head. All right.
It's the music from
your vocalization's
Star Wars.
good.
It's Ewoks.
Oh, no! That's not what I want! Nub yub? This is not nub yub! No!
Like. They are cannibals. They do play with bones and
maybe
skulls.
it's nub yub if you play the record backwards and it says satanic messages. All right. We are looking at Grazam. Let me see what Grazam's situation is. You are
stunned.
You are stunned. At the end of your turn, the stun effect goes away. So that's that. And then we go to some additional creatures. Let me look at my monster stat block. Get a little bit of an idea here. Yeah, that is what they would do, isn't it? Okay, so Remus, you're gonna have a little bit of company here, and I guess we might have a readied chakram attack coming as well. Okay, so what happens is a skeletal warrior donned in bone armor in this like severe bony helmet like peers around the corner and goes to fling out this bone shard arrow thing, and Cynus has a ready chakram attack. It does have half cover.
I rolled a natural 20.
Woo!
I really did.
All right, you spin that sharpened blade ring down the corridor. It strikes the target as intended.
17 points of slashing damage.
17? 17?
17, yeah.
How is it
Ichorites
17?
get bonus damages. The damage
8,
die is bigger.
Yeah, it's a D8
You're right.
when I throw a chakram.
Right.
And I got a crit, so it's 2D8 plus
It
3.
is a critical hit. Duh.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I totally forgot the critical.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
The
I also rolled well. I rolled an 8 and a 7.
That's fine. The monsters have been rolling, and the trap have been rolling really good this whole encounter. So you guys deserve it. Okay, so 17. Yeah, you put like a nasty crack across the thing's helmet, maybe even crack into its clavicle and knock its jaw off kilter. And it fires. It still continues, right? It fires at Remus. It can do 2 shots. It's going to apply its drummer's inspiration on the first one. It's a 17 to hit.
Just hits.
Okay, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to be rolling damage individually. 5. Sorry. Yes, 5. 5 piercing.
Okay.
Okay. And then a 23 to hit.
Also hits.
I imagine it would. 8 piercing.
8 piercing. Remus is bloodied.
Okay. Remus is bloody, but
Or
he's
Ichid. Ichid.
not. Okay. Maybe we can go with that. Let's bring out another. That's what you were wanting, right? More than one. The second one fires. Let's put the Dark Inspiration on this. 16 to hit.
Misses just.
Okay, and then the next one would be a miss. All right, so the first shot deflects off of your bronze and armor. And the second one does as well. So your armor has served you quite well. And let's bring out the third. I don't know why I'm doing an archer draw motion. I think they're actually like flinging bone shards at you. Yeah. Though I do like skeletal archers too. I think those are really cool. Okay, so the first is with its Dark Inspiration added in from the Bone Drummer. 22 to hit, which I know does hit.
Hits.
There's 5 piercing.
Still bloodied.
And then the second will be an 11, which again deflects off of your sentinel armor. Dink. And do they do... Okay, there we go. That wraps that up. Let's go back to Remus.
Continue dragging up into the chamber.
Okay.
They could be tearing their own or their companions' ribs out and throwing them.
Do you want to dash?
Whatever is necessary to get full cover.
Yeah, it's pretty slow going getting up those stairs, so that really bogs you down. But if you dash, you can do a full cover like that.
Perfect.
Is that suitable for you?
Yes.
Okay, so Remus has gotten himself and our beloved Atticus out of the line of fire. Cynus.
There's a number of questions here.
There's at least 3 of them.
And someone's
Yeah,
drumming.
I look at all the arrows and hear all the clattering and drumming. Agreed. Oh, fuck. Does Atticus have any... Like, what weapon does Atticus have on his corpse?
Excessive levels of bravery.
A trident. Boy, we love piercing damage, don't we?
Foolhardy
He has
boldness.
a hammer in his bag. He has
In the shape of a
like
hammer.
hammer and pitons.
That's an improvised weapon. Be about the same as my fist. So I say... Fuck. How big are these bone shards sticking out of Atticus? I need an improvised
arrow-sized.
weapon. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. F. And vulnerability's different in your house rules too. F again.
Yes, that is my house rule. Vulnerability gives an additional 50% damage, not an additional 100%.
Yeah. I mean, boy, there's not a whole lot that I can do right here. So I think I'm going to cry back out down the hallway. And it's like... You were going to say?
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to cry back down the hallway towards Grazam and Mulga. Do you yet live? To see if they're dead or not.
Okay, you cry out. You shout to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You said cry down the hallway. I'm like, man, Cynus is like walking out of the dungeon like,
Oh, no.
What happened to Cynus?
Dungeon made an
Do you
cry?
yet live? And regardless, Grazam can make a noise from this stun. I don't hear Mulga at all. I'll look at Remus and I'll say, I believe this is where we perish. I will take the dodge action.
Remus stoically adds, "You do not know until it is done."
Call it a guess of experience.
Well, Cynus would know. Mulga, at the start of your turn, make a death saving throw.
Special metal dice. Alright, here goes.
It's a heavy moment, man. Ooh, I heard that.
That's a 13.
Okay. That is a success. Good thing. The bone drumming incessantly continues.
I'll look over and like, Grazam, you're still here?
You are unconscious, Mulga.
Oh.
But maybe you have just like a moment where you like Grazam, and then you
still
you fade back into the unconsciousness of dying.
Comes to for a second. My hair.
Grazam, you have regained your senses. You're no longer stunned. You are wounded. Mulga is badly wounded. Something is happening inside the dungeon, which doesn't sound like victory on your party's behalf. Act decisively, Grazam.
I swipe off the saliva that I have because of the stunning, because I wasn't able to move anything. Okay. We need to regroup. First of all, just get up. Oh, please, you Sinikur, just give us the strength to keep fighting. And I want to cast the first level. I want to cast the Healing Word at Mulga. So
Looks like he needs
heal.
it.
Yes. Oh, you heal for 8 HP.
A rush of soothing, divine, healing magic runs through you, Mulga. Your eyelids flick open, and you are no longer in excruciating pain. You are wounded. You have a level of exhaustion.
Story of my life.
Level of exhaustion. That is disadvantage on ability checks.
Yes. But not dying.
Yes.
I just realized that I accidentally put your character name on this frame as Gramox, like the late Gramox. It should be Grazam. So I will fix that before our next session. Assuming we have a next session and you all don't die here in just the next few minutes. Grazam, you have healed Mulga, and that was a great save on your part. Do you move anywhere? Do you do anything else?
Yes. Okay.
No? Okay.
I will cast. I will go next to him, And I will cast guidance on him.
Did you use Cure Wounds already as your action?
I used healing word as a bonus action.
Healing Word as bonus action. Okay, and then you cast Guidance on him as your action?
As my action.
Okay.
And I tell him that we need to deactivate those snake heads. Maybe you can try again.
Try again.
I'm
healing word you again.
I'm not going inside when those heads. I'm not gonna get hit by
That was the guidance.
again.
The guidance was for him to go. Like, okay.
No, but really try this time.
Okay, here
I
how
also
you
thought
do
I
it.
was muted. Sorry if that was loud.
Here how you do it. You go there and slowly you try to do anything. Don't rush things. Just go. You have it. I will be rooting for you. I have nothing to do with my action. I can't do anything else.
You know what I just realized? I just realized that Kismet gives me resistance as well, which I should have been casting on the saving throws.
Oh! That's what happens when we don't play for a month.
I could have. It's a 30 feet. It's a 30 feet. I could have been.
Yeah. And well, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't like when DMs butt in and tell players how to play the game. So let's go to monsters. So that I can tell you about. The monsters. What did they do? They. Does Cynus still have a sight down this corridor here? I think he does. I think you have a little glance down there, right?
I mean, that depends. I would like full cover.
Oh, okay. So
if that precludes me not seeing down the corridor,
okay.
I'm fine with that.
There we go. I think that's a good trade-off. You can't
like,
see what they're doing, but you're getting full cover.
A very brief explanation of my plan here. I want to, if something pops out to shoot or attack at me, essentially I can plug up the doorway by using one of them.
Yeah,
That's my whole plan, is to
Okay.
keep them all from running in here and murdering us and taking them one at a time.
Okay.
Also, you can close the door.
The bottleneck maneuver.
I don't know how to close the door.
What?
Don't know how to close
Is it
the
just
door?
a regular door? I thought he hit a button to open it.
Nope.
No. The button is for the trap.
So you weren't even in there when he was messing with stuff. So all you know is there's a stone door that's open. It's opened, like pushed open.
Gotcha.
And you could pull it shut. It has a handle on it.
That's great. Let one in, and then I'll close the door. We murder it.
That's a plan. That is a plan. Okay, so you've taken cover behind the wall so that they can't get shooting. You do hear them moving around a little bit. You don't hear them coming closer though, but they did something. And Remus.
Remus will. He's going to run his way up to the archway, not leaving. And he's going to check to make sure that what's going on outside, he can get an update there. And then he's going to... He's going to take the dodge action.
Mm-hmm.
And... What is taking so long?
You see Mulga, who looks like he has been crushed by a boulder a few times, and Grazam is both praying over him and trying to give him some kind of pep talk, like trying to motivate him.
I will call back to Cynus and I'll say, perhaps we should leave this place for now.
That is wise.
I hope that the trap doesn't work two ways. That would be really annoying.
You hope it's like those spikes that you go over one way to find and back up and murders you?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody will be finding out. Remus, you do enter into the dodge position. Cynus, it's your turn now. So do you have something that is that plan that you talked about? Are you like readying an attack, or what are you doing with that plan?
I think that readying an attack is probably wise. I'm going to ready... Yeah, I'll ready a grapple, actually, because I have to declare what I'm going to be doing with the action. I'm going to ready a grapple to nab the first person through the door so that everyone else can't push their way through.
Sounds good.
I also look down at Atticus's body. I say, if I throw you, I apologize.
He's just dead. He's just like...
Yep.
He can't.
All right. Mulga, it's your turn. Pick yourself up off the ground.
AJ?
AJ.
AJ/Mulga?
Yeah.
Mulga stands. You probably don't feel great, but you feel better than dying, so that's something.
Another ray of light comes down. It's 6, 7, 8, 19, 11 points of healing damage. Healing, I should say.
Excellent. So you get your cure wounds at second level.
No,
Right.
That's another class thing. That's a celestial warlock. It's just part of my packed magic. I've got a healing pool of 66 healing, which I've just spent all of.
Okay. Nice. Well, I mean, it was nice. How are you looking hit points wise?
I've got 17 hit points.
Out of what's
Well, less than I had at the start of this adventure.
okay. Just curious. Okay, well you've healed yourself, and Grazam has healed you. You are wounded though. You probably have some kind of, I don't know, cracked rib or internal bleeding, or at least a concussion, mild concussion developing. So you're a little groggy. You got a level of exhaustion imposing disadvantage on your ability checks.
Do I have the ability? Can I spare a moment to say, let's leave?
Everybody else, you hear Mulga's emphatic suggestion of a tactical retreat. Let's see if the party. Let's see if the party is it. The party might be in unison in this. We will see. We will see.
Flee for your lives.
Okay. You hear drumming, resounding from within.
Never good.
Grazam, it is your turn. Mulga is shouting, we need to get back. We need to leave. Maybe try something different. I don't know, but he's suggesting a retreat. What do you think?
Okay. First of all, he still has guidance, because the guidance has his concentration and has 1 minute duration.
Mm-hmm.
I will cast Lesser Restoration on him, so that he has no exhaustion points. I hope.
Are you thinking with the exhaustion? Lesser Restoration doesn't take that away.
Doesn't. Okay.
No.
My bad.
Yeah. So
Greater Restoration.
Greater Restoration does that.
Yes.
Yeah.
For 100 GP diamond.
Yeah.
That's nope. Okay. In that case,
the idea is that injuries are not things that quick, fast, low-level magic can readily cure someone of.
Yes. I just got confused. Okay, I will cast Bless. In that case.
Bless. Okay.
Yeah. On me. on Cynus and on Mulga.
Okay. Grazam, Cynus, and Mulga, you have all been blessed. Cynus might be out of range. You want to do Remus instead? I think blessed is 30 foot.
This is.
Or you
he's
can
out of
move.
range? Okay.
You could move, maybe
Yeah,
get
if-
closer.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Just it's
Do you
fine.
wanna-
Just
do you wanna go? I think if you go there and
You want to stand under the lasers?
no,
It's cool there.
You'll have to enter. You'll have to enter to bless.
No way.
Okay.
No way.
All right.
There is no way I enter.
So do you want to bless yourself, Mulga, and Remus?
Yes.
Is that acceptable? Okay. So you call down a blessing of your interesting deity who is on your side. That does take the place of the guidance. I think guidance is a concentration.
Yes, it does.
But bless adds to attack rolls and saving throws 1d4.
Yes. So, and I want to go up to have full cover. Or, yes, I want to go up, start living.
Okay. The way that you came through the tunnel is down here. Do you want to go in that
Down.
way? Yep. Okay.
Yes, I will go down. Yep.
Going up, essentially, like going northwards, the crevice is just going to taper off and like just come to a crack that's so thin, only a ant could get through it. But if you go down, there's that tunnel.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so Grazam has blessed everyone, and you seem to be thinking, okay, yeah, let's retreat. That's a good idea. Now we have some monsters. And they have their own agendas.
If only I had a chocolate pill and an apocalypse cloak right now.
Cynus. A bone-clad skeletal warrior clambers up the steps and passes just over the threshold. You lunge out with your bare hands. Is that right?
Bare hands, yep.
Your bare hands attempting to grasp hold. Make a strength athletics check.
18.
It will make
Wait.
a
That's a lie. 19.
19.
Sorry.
Okay. It will make a dexterity acrobatics check to try and avoid being grabbed by you. 17 is not enough. You have grappled it, and you've got this skeletal thing right in your face. And which one is that one? That is that one. Okay. And
Is this the one I cracked in the face, or is that one
it is not.
down the stairs? Unfortunate.
Yes. It draws a club made of bone, like a humerus, and like swings to clobber you.
One moment. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
I was checking the dagger expert feat.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. It has some grapple specific interactions.
Yeah, I don't have disadvantage when I'm restrained, but it doesn't have anything about grapple yet. So go ahead.
It's gonna add in its dark inspiration from the drummer on this attack roll. It didn't roll very well. Nope. I know a 13 does not hit your AC. So
Does not.
it
AC
struggles
15.
and it just can't even properly get an attack off because of your grapple. It does have a second attack. 15 is also not going to do it. It just kind of
15 meets.
15 hits your AC.
Yep.
Whoa! Really? Okay.
The medium plating is 14 plus dex with a max of 2.
Okay. I guess it was Atticus who had the high AC.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wonk! It rolled low. It deals 4 bludgeoning damage to you. We turn now to Remus. Dear Remus, the loyal, the stoic. Cynus is grappling this bone hellion.
Remus will he's going to go down to where Cynus is, and I guess he'll just help what's going on with Cynus then. Takes his spear out and he lunges at the creature that he has grappled. It's a 22 to hit.
You strike the creature, and you see there are 2 more just down the stairway.
Dealing 8 points of damage. 8 points of piercing damage, which I don't know if it's going to be any good against them.
It does resist the piercing, being a skeletal being.
Boy, we love piercing.
Yeah.
We love some piercing damage.
Whole party is piercing.
You deal 4. Is it all piercing?
It's all piercing. Just a spear.
Not Mulga. No, Mulga, you've got a magic bludgeoning cantrip, don't you? Yeah.
If only he can get inside.
He's got the orb. He's got the orb magic. He can fling his orbs.
And that's it. Will.
Okay, so you jab the skeleton. Not quite what you're used to when you jab a fleshy body, but it did some damage to it. Cynus, it is your turn. You are grabbing a skeletal warrior.
Well, my plan has changed, thanks to Remus's bold action. This is JB speaking. Cynus is perfectly happy with you getting yourself killed. So instead of hurling this thing down the stairs, plugging it up and running, Cynus will... I don't think he has a choice. He's just going to headbutt the fuck out of this skeleton to make an unarmed strike. And I have advantage against grappled enemies. Let me double check. I think it might just be with my dagger, in which case this does not work.
I think it's daggers.
I'm 90% sure. I don't have
It's the dagger expert feat, right?
Yeah.
You have advantage on attack rolls with daggers against creatures that you are grappling or that are grappling you.
How does a 16 feel?
16? Yeah. That'll crack it.
Cool. 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right, we'll
And
bump
with
that
your
up to
house
6.
rule, that's plus 50 for a 6 total.
All right, you headbutt, and there's a distinct, snapping noise as you put a little crack in its bone helmet. Maybe knock out a tooth.
And... okay. Is closing a door an item interaction?
Well, I think it depends on the kind of door it is. A heavy stone door, probably not.
That is also unfortunate. Because I had a great chance to use a prowess that I never thought I'd be able to use.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking about hurling the skeleton down the stairs on top of his friends using my dominate prowess, and then closing the door and telling Remus to move because he just told me we were leaving and then he came back. I'm so confused by it.
Okay. It's a bonus action for the Gladiator feature,
Bonus
right?
action lets me grapple or shove
Yep.
an
So
enemy.
I will give you this. You use your dominate to try to throw him down the stairs. Then I'm going to have you make an athletics check at a moderate DC of 15. If you succeed, you'll slam the door shut to end up your turn.
Sure. So let's
You like
do
that?
the shove first. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
it's
the shove
all
first
kind of
because
part of the same thing there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he doesn't move, then my grapple doesn't end, and we're fine. But
Yep.
if he does move, then we can worry about the door. So,
Okay.
Contested, right?
Yep.
Cocked, sorry. 16. 12 plus... Or 17.
Okay.
12 plus 5. I can't do
17.
math tonight.
All right. He'll do dexterity again. A mere 11. You fling the thing down the steps. Oh, no. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, sorry. I saw the totally wrong window there. Okay. You fling the thing down the stairs. That's going to do some damage to him. Roll a d6 of falling damage.
Got another metal d6.
There you go.
Cat. Hey! Grapevine Forge, thank you. 6 bludgeoning damage.
6? Okay.
Bastard.
It is bludgeoning. He's weak to that, so there's 9 more damage to the skeleton. It breaks a rib, lands on its... I almost said on it, almost busts its ass, but it didn't have an ass. It's a bone. Busts its tailbone. And
We did all this adjudication. I forgot. Instead of risking it, I'm going to action surge and close the door. I forgot I had it because we had the long rest and I forgot to reset
well,
it.
you don't need to waste your action surge because... Oh, wait, did you do your athletics check?
I didn't.
Do
So
an
do you
ath-
still want me to do the athletics check or do you want me to burn the action surge?
If it fails, surge.
Yeah, hold off on the action surge.
That'll work.
Do your athletics, strength
You're all
athletics.
much smarter than me. Let's do it.
This is for the door.
24. 19
Okay.
plus 5.
You slam the stony door, heavy stony door shut. You still
Grab a
have your action
skeleton.
surge.
Smash, smash. Throw it down the stairs. Drag the door closed. Look at Remus. Why are you here? Action surge, dash, and move out of the room.
I told you it was not a thing until it is fated.
I know I'm probably going to get blasted by the skulls, but it's fine.
Okay, dash will take you to there. You have 30 foot speed,
I
right?
didn't move, so I still have 60 because I dashed.
This is where you step through and they shoot me instead.
Oh yeah, indeed. Blasting ray against Mulga.
That would be so filthy.
So nothing happens. You exit. No, it's guarding people from breaking in, from intruding.
And that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
full turn.
That's
everything I can
that's
do.
quite a turn. I feel like a lot was accomplished there. Mulga, it is your turn. Cynus is dashing out.
All right. Good. Come on!
Heading down south.
Yeah.
Okay, dashing.
Yeah.
All right. Mulga, you get into the tunnel.
I do actually have expeditious. Do I have expeditious retreat? I just run.
Okay.
Tune in next week when.
Remus through the door hears the muffled sound of bone drums. They sound like they're a little bit closer, though obviously not what you can see due to the shut door.
Is it Remus's turn?
It is Grazam's turn. Are you fleeing as well, Grazam? Grazam?
Yep, I'm not seeing him coming, so I want to go up 30 feet since the other guy is not coming out. Can I make it that I can see him?
Going back towards the archway?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So, Grazam, you go back here. And here you can see through the archway. Remus is down there. You probably don't have a great line of sight on him, but you can maybe see, half see him, and he is.
Okay.
I don't know. Does Remus look like he is about ready to exit? Does he look like he's?
Looks like he's looking at something in the other corner of the room.
Okay, so Remus does not look like he's fleeing. Maybe he is staying behind to fight off the foes while you all flee. Maybe he wants to go down fighting. Maybe he wants to protect the body of Atticus. Maybe he wants to collect Atticus's body and flee with it. He's not exiting right now, though. You still have your action, Grazam.
I will cast Healing Word on him.
Ooh,
On Remus?
As a bonus action.
excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
For 6 HP. And as an action, I take out my holy symbol and I have a prayer, and a big celestial crocodile alligator appears next to Remus.
Next to Remus. Yep. Okay. Is that where you want it to be?
Let me see. Yes.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah, great. And I give him the order to just chew all the skeletons.
All right.
Yep.
The crocodilian celestial servant appears and looks ready to snap with those mighty jaws.
So, do you want the crocodile to play after me, after my turn, or do you want me to roll initiative for
I
it?
believe that it can go before or after you, your choice. I'll double check.
Okay. Before or after yours? Yes, that's what it says. Yeah. And
There you go.
so in that case,
Ready's an attack?
yes.
Okay, cool. Its jaws are eager to snap and crunch the foes. I hope we get to see that. It is actually skeletons go now. Well, yeah, I think this door is opening. I think he's going to get a chance to snap at it pretty quickly here. Rafa's not prone. He uses half his speed to stand, but he's just right there. The door heaves open, and the skeleton reappears, right? Why not?
Okay.
Make an attack roll for the
Yep.
Celestial Servant.
That's a 15 to hit.
A 15, you say? A 15.
Yeah.
You hit. Exactly hit the target.
Wow. Awesome. And that's 1d6 plus 1.
Yep, 1d6 plus 1 bludgeoning damage.
Bludgeoning. That's 5 bludgeoning damage.
Turns into 7, which was exactly the hit points. You hit his AC exactly, and you reduced his hit points exactly to 0. The jaws of the celestial crocodile snap shut and just like pop through the thing's armor, through his spinal column, and just break him in two. Yeah, thrashes about. Pieces of bone flick off from that. It's slain. Well done. Well done. There are 2 others though. So we'll see if this is a short-lived victory. Well, with a bone club in hand, this next Hellion clambers forward, eager to strike at the intruders. It has 2 targets in front of it. One just destroyed its ally. It's going to attack the crocodile. It makes 2 bone club attacks. It's got a 21 to hit.
I'll invoke disadvantage, which Remus puts his shield in the way of the club.
Okay.
As his reaction.
So the next one is going to come to a mere 7. The bone club deflects off of Remus's shield, missing. And then for its second attack, it's going to add in its dark inspiration from the drummer. 20 to hit.
Yeah, it's
It wallops the celestial servant for 5 bludgeoning.
okay.
And another is here. It will follow suit, striking at the celestial servant. It will spend its inspiration. Does a 13 hit?
14 is the AC.
Oh, so close, yet so far away. The second attack is even lower. It cannot do damage through the thick, scaly hide of the celestial croc. And that is it for the skeletons. Remus, it is your turn.
Remus is going to die defending his dead companion, if need be, and he's going to try and bash it with his shield.
You can,
don't think
though.
he's
Just throwing this out here. Take it or leave it. You could just drop your spear and grab up the bone club that fell to the ground from the dead
bone
one.
club.
It is
Okay,
a
I will-
D6 bludgeoning weapon.
Thank you. I will humor that suggestion, and I will take the club then.
You will humor it
And
with
so
the
that's-
humorous.
Humor with the humorous. So I'm guessing I'm proficient with clubs, so that would be just a dirty
Yeah,
20.
it's a simple weapon. It's like kind
Okay.
of like a mace.
Oh, okay. Max damage for a 6 on a 8 bludgeoning damage.
8 bludgeoning. You can choose to strike the one that has already been damaged, already got hit with the critical hit chakra.
I'll go for that.
And
I'll go for that one.
you bash its skull in. Clonk,
Dusty
clonk,
plume.
Clink, plunk, plunk.
Ends my turn.
Confidence soars as the enemy crumbles. Cynus.
Well, we're in a pickle, fam. Because the
Everyone else can
plan
run
told to
away.
me was run, tactical retreat.
Yeah.
Knowing Remus, I'm imagining that I know what Remus is doing.
Yeah.
So Cynus is going to turn and heartily bark far louder than I can manage tonight at Grazam to hurry up and leave. And he's going to do it not in a threatening way that I roll, because I don't like PvP rolling, but he's going to be very poignant that we need to get the fuck out of here, even if we have this small victory right now. So he flexes all these big muscles staring at Grazam. No! Leave! And he'll dash and move.
Okay. So Cynus yells at Grazam to get the hell out of there. You didn't spend an action on it, so I'll just leave it up to Dimos, right? Just roleplay Grazam, whatever you think Grazam would react to that. It now turns to Mulga. Mulga, you continue to flee?
AJ.
Mulga.
Hello. I'm still running away, right?
Okay, you're still running away? All right. All right. That's all I
We're
wanted
almost
to...
there. We're almost out.
That's all I wanted to confirm. All right,
I'll
so...
go back to my meditations.
Mulga, you're in the tunnel. Yeah, you're just in the dark tunnel. You got your light on your spear of warning, lighting the way, and you are putting this place to your back as much as possible.
I'm leading the way to make sure that our egress is not clogged up with enemies.
No,
Bravely.
you see no hordes of terrors blocking your retreat. Well. Let me make this visible. Here we go. Jittering close to the stairs, really to the foot of the steps, is the Bone Drummer. It is another one of these skeletal ranks. It also has... no, I'm sorry. It does not have the bone armor. No, it does not. But what it does have are skull drums suspended from its torso that it is striking with femurs in a brazen, inciting rhythm. This time, however, it changes its drumming, and it drums up a wicked clangor that is bone-rattling and ear-splitting. I need Remus and the Celestial Servant to make Constitution saving throws.
Natural 20.
Success.
12.
12. That is also a success. So
Okay.
the clangor kind of like rattles your nerves, but it does not actually cause you any ill effects otherwise. You both succeeded. Grazam.
Okay.
So we have you here.
Yep.
Yep.
I want to shout. I will be damned if I let Atticus die be buried in such a place. His soul will never find peace. And I want to cast spiritual weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see the drummer? am?
You can't because the terrain, elevation and such is blocking you.
Okay.
But you can see
Yeah.
this one here. That one there. That is
Okay.
fighting
Yeah.
your servant.
Cool. I want to I want to cast it next to that next to the skeleton.
Okay. And what sort of magical weapon appears?
Okay. Atticus was using daggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Cynus is using the daggers.
Cynus is using the daggers, yeah. Atticus was using a longsword, I believe.
Trident.
Trident.
Trident. Okay. I want to cast a big trident, and Atticus's name will be engraved in this trident.
Okay. Quite
And
an
I want to
homage.
hit. Yes, I want to hit with a spiritual weapon.
Go ahead and make your attack,
That-
and I'm going to make a token for it.
Yes, that's 14, but I have also bless.
Uh-huh.
15.
15 is a hit, exactly a hit.
For 7 force damage.
7 force damage. Okay. That's the first strike against the creature. It takes the... it looks like a thrust from the trident, but it's actually this, spiritual force energy that, jabs into it. It shudders back, but it is still still pressing its assault.
As Remus sees the spiritual weapon form, you hear him shout out in his usual stoic fashion. Flee! Tell them of Atticus's bravery.
I will not let another one of be forsaken like that. And for my action, I know it probably won't have any effect, but I want to attack with Blade of Death, the cantrip.
Nice. Give me just 1 second. I've made a trident token. It just took me a moment there. Okay, cool. How do you like that?
Wow, nice. Yes.
And then you cast a Blade of Death. Okay, so you can certainly do that. I will give the creature half cover.
Okay. That's 24 plus 1, 25.
Oh yeah, you certainly hit. If this was Pathfinder 2, that would have been a critical hit.
That's 6 necrotic damage.
6 necrotic. Yeah,
I don't know if
that works fine.
Wow.
6
Okay.
necrotic. All right, so this, like shadowy blade, as though flung by the angel of death, cleaves into the thing. You see a little bit of the bones start to erode at that spiritual assault. And your crocodile.
And
You're an army unto yourself.
But I couldn't go in, so that was unfortunate. Okay, the crocodile will try and that's a 10.
The crocodile snaps and just gets its tooth chipped on a bone armor.
By the way, I want Grazam to just go down 1 or 2 or 5 feet so that I'm not in the line of sight. Yep, perfect.
A tactical position. Well done, Grazam. Fantastic turn there. The Bone Hellion is being assaulted on all fronts, and 2 of its allies have been slain. Well, it's just bone, so it doesn't have any facial expressions. But if it did have one, it would be like a resentful, antagonistic, ill-spirited, sore loser. Basically, is what he is. So he will. I'm gonna say it. It's just a skeleton, right? It will disengage. I do count stairs as difficult terrain, so there's 10, 15, 20, okay. It makes it thus far. The bone drummer now is kind of like left to your devices of you all. And it looks like it does not want to remain there either. But its turn is going to have to wait, as we are now looking at Remus, who is reacting to all this going on by doing something.
I'm just going to go down the stairs and smash that bone drummer in the head.
All right.
That's going to be a 16 to hit.
He's got a club of his own, and he tries to block your attack, but his block is too slow, and you smack him.
That's for 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right, turns to 6. So you give him a good whack. Cynus, you continuing to flee?
No one's cried out, so yeah.
Okay, so Cynus and Mulga, let's assume, are in the tunnel fleeing. We'll focus on what we have here, and I know we're running a little bit late here, but I want to finish this. There's no way I'm going to pause the session just right here. Okay, we go to the Bone Drummer. The Bone Drummer has just got smacked by Remus. It has its skull drums hanging from like on a harness from its shoulders. It's got these bone sticks. It has an actual bone club as well that it can properly fight you with. Oh my goodness. It does not want to be there though. It's going to disengage and move. Yep. Skeleton flees like that. And its bony feet scamper along the ground. We are back to the divine army that is Grazam. Grazam, you can no longer see the skeletons of any of them. They seem to be retreating as well, so we got retreats on both sides now.
Okay. In that case, I will give the crocodile in order to take out Atticus's corpse.
Okay.
And I will dash down.
Say that again. You'll what?
I will order my celestial servant to take out the Atticus's corpse, and
Right.
I will dash.
Oh, dash. Yeah.
Yes, dash.
Okay, dash.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, my English.
No, it's okay. All right. And okay.
Also, your English is great.
Yeah, your English is fantastic. The crocodile is, dragging the corpse of Atticus and gets it up onto the stairs. A little difficult getting up the stairs, but we can get back to him. Grazam, you still have an action, man, and a bonus action for your trident. Do you have to see the target? That's the question.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
to see it. So
Okay.
spiritual weapon just stays there as a relic of Atticus's and Remus's courage. And as an action, I want to dash.
I'm just double checking spiritual weapon.
Yep.
Make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. On a hit, the target takes force damage. On bonus action, you can move the weapon up to 20 feet and repeat the attack. Okay, so you technically don't have to see the foe, though I don't think the weapon... It's not a creature. It doesn't know... Like, the trident doesn't see something on its own. So... It's kind of like you're attacking blindly. Imagine that there's a creature somewhere, but you don't know where it's at. You can just basically say, the trident goes in such and such direction, such and such feet, and tries to attack, and you hope that it hits something. So, do you want the weapon to go farther in and strike out if it can at something?
I find it weird to do such a thing without
It's
knowing where it
yeah.
goes.
Think of it like this. Imagine that there was this room that was pitch dark, and there's a creature in there, but you can't see it because it's pitch black, and so you just throw the trident blindly, hoping you'll hit the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
Okay.
That's
let's do that. Yes.
Does everyone think my interpretation is good? It makes sense.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so
Why not?
you send the trident out 20 feet and stab something if you can.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
let me see, 20 feet.
It's Mulga.
No, Arink.
Yeah, get some Mulga.
A last 20 feet, it just nothing happens. Yeah, Remus, you see the trident zip past you, but it just doesn't. 20 feet isn't enough to get to that next skeleton there. Okay, it was worth a try. I think Grazam still has an action.
It's worth a try.
I said as an action,
Dash.
I wanted to dash.
Oh, okay. The dash was for you. I thought you were talking about the crocodile dragon, Atticus. Okay,
Both the crocodile
both
and
dash.
So,
Okay. Who do we go to now? It's that one skeleton. That's who it is. Okay, Remus, you are seeing a skeleton. It goes to that T intersection, and then it goes takes the north path, like back where it initially came from. And it is Remus's turn. So
Remus will step back through the door and close it.
all right. Remus shuts the door. Are you wanting to exit?
He will slowly begin his march out.
Okay. So I think this will be a good transition moment here. Your party Oops, I forgot to transition. That's okay. Your party, wounded, one of you even felled, flees out of this mountainous crevice through a long, dark tunnel and presumably back out to the front of the mountain. Atticus has fallen. Everyone has accrued 2 milestones.
Do dead characters get milestones?
Well, put it on the sheet, yeah. And then, if you make a new character, you just continue with your same milestone.
Oh, so they're player milestones. That's cool.
Yeah. That's a different topic. I've tried to convince my groups that I want all new characters to begin at level 1 0 milestones. All new characters. You have to earn everything. But so far no one has agreed to that, so we just keep the same milestones. Atticus. There is a tremendous amount of pain. Your whole world is pain. It stabs through you, pierces and punctures, bores into your core. And it is more than physical pain. It's the pain of knowing that you have failed. It's a pain of humiliation. It's a pain of hopes and dreams unrealized, of life cut short. And the pain stretches on longer than can be described. You're in a timelessness, really. The pain eventually subsides. It is not replaced by any soothing, pleasant, ideal haven, but merely a vague grayness, like a vast mist, a fog that is all-encompassing, engulfing. And it is cold. And you wander through the fog. You hear footsteps and a voice. It is the voice of Miraman Adsawath, your friend.
Are you here, old friend?
Somebody there.
It's me. I looked for you.
Atticus!
Found you in a tomb.
No. This is another one of these horrors come to haunt me. Stop it. Let me out of this place.
Can I see him? Can I see? Or is it just a voice?
Do you go towards the voice?
Yes.
You go towards the voice and you bump into Miraman and you can see each other. You look very much as you looked in life. Paler, perhaps. A darkness about your visage. And your friend is wild-eyed, nearly hysterical, and he seems to think you're some sort of figment, some the apparition that is there to harry him.
Atticus will be overwhelmed, but then anger comes up and he says, "Why did you die? Why did you leave? You didn't tell me you were going."
I wasn't going to take you to that place, risk getting you killed. You're not your father, Atticus.
I strike him.
You've gotten yourself killed. Why? It's bad enough that I died. You didn't have to die too. Why did you do this?
The whole Tarabir is dying. People are starving. There's another war looming.
Well, none of that is here now. I don't even know where this place is. Is this hell? If it's hell, then I guess we deserve it.
You know, I always felt bad that my father came back and yours didn't.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one.
Why are you so selfish? All I wanted was a chance to make things right again.
You're a fool, Atticus. You've always been a fool. Well, I wasn't ready, apparently, either. I just hope that Weitza got out of there. He speaks of Weitza the Scorpion, a treasure hunter from your town of Doreo. You found evidence that she and the other companion also died.
If this is hell, I'm glad to have you here with me.
There's a sound of stone moving, not altogether that different than the sound you heard when the slab lowered at the entrance into the tunnel. A slight break in the mist. There's a gaping tunnel, like a cave. We go together.
As old friends. As brothers in blood. Who have died at the hand of war.
He looks at the tunnel, he looks back at you. Very well, brother. Whatever is in there, it's better that you are with me than I got it alone. And you two enter the dark cave in this strange gray place into an unknown fate. All right, everybody. Well, that was a hell of a session. And a heck of a session, and a heaven of a session, and a purgatory of a session.
And a heck with 2 C's.
Yeah. A Hades and an Elysium and a Valhalla for good measure.
I'd just like to explain to the audience that I did actually legitimately crash there in the middle of the game because I've been on a intermittent fasting diet for the last month, and that's the first time I've had a snack during the day, including a Monster energy drink. Bad idea.
Every time, since I turned 25 or 26, every time I have a monster or something with a boatload of sugar and caffeine, I crash right after.
It's the taurine. They put taurine into energy drinks. Avoid the taurine stuff because that's actually a sedative that your body gives your muscles after exercise that relaxes them to stop them seizing up. So don't drink taurine-loaded drinks when you want to actually be energized. So it's an energy drink that does the opposite of what it's supposed to do.
I've heard coffee is good. Tea,
Coffee's good, yeah.
Love coffee.
tea, green or Earl Grey, black. Take your pick.
If you order from Found Familiar Coffee, use coupon code Drop the Die, save 10%.
Thank you guys for playing. I think we'll be having another session of this adventure, and I look forward to that. What else can I
mean,
so
we've already
gonna DM for you, you son of a bitch. I am so gonna DM for you.
I look
We've
forward
already
to
found.
it. I look forward to
Look, guys, we found the blood, and now we found the lament.
When you first said Sugar Crash in the chat, I was like, how the hell did you know that I was playing Sugar Crash?
Thanks everybody who has been following along and watching. This has been a really cool adventure, and I promise I don't intentionally try to murder player characters, but it does happen sometimes. It's just the monsters. It's not me. So we'll talk, Jared, and we'll figure out a
what
plan.
my dungeon would do.
Yeah, that's true. We'll figure out a plan, and it'll be cool whatever way we go. And I look forward to the next one, and hopefully we can play again in 2 weeks' time. Sound feasible for everyone? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well we'll we'll get that coordinated on Discord, and everyone who's following along, just look out for probably here in 2 weeks, Saturday or Sunday early on if you are in not North America.
It's going to be sometime around that day.
I will try to make a
post.
post. I'll try to make a post in advance of some kind.
What am I? Greenwich Mean Time plus 13 is my time zone. It's like the as far into the future as you can go and not be in like just off the coast of American Samoa.
All right. So thanks again, guys, for playing, and thanks everyone for watching. All right. See you next time.
Bye.